Welcome to the Brian Craig Show. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Did you guys catch the Pennsylvania rally last night with the president? It was amazing and incredible and beautiful. We're going to cover the whole thing. We're going to break it down. He called out Ilhan Omar, who's in some big trouble, Ilhan Omar. We're going to get into all of that and a whole bunch more, plus your calls, and I can't believe it is Wednesday already. If you're new to the program, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And when I'm live streaming, I take live calls. If you want to call in, the toll-free number, it's toll-free no matter where you are watching, is pinned in the live chat. Hold on, I got to move my green screen. All right. I usually do that before the show. Hold on a second. Oh, no, it's the other side. It's over here. All right. There we go. Hold on. Let me check. Behind the scenes, people. Behind the scenes. There we go. All right. We've got the green screen all set up. I usually check that before I go on the air. Welcome, everyone. Oh, man. And I got to talk about what happened in Miami in this mayor's race, which I had no intention of talking about this mayor's race in Miami. And the entire media are misreporting what happened. Miami did not go blue. Miami did not go Democrat. Miami is red. Miami is Republican. Miami is MAGA, okay? And I got to set the record straight. I've been watching the mainstream media cover this mayor's race in Miami, and I got all kind of. I checked the oil on my car, and I got some grease on my. I am behind on my coffee. I got no sleep last night, so you're getting a bit of a, getting a rough version of me today. But the last couple of days, I've been watching the national media cover this mayor's race in Miami, and the Trump-endorsed Republican lost to the Democrat. And, DeSantis and Trump had been bragging that they had turned Miami red, and now it's blue. So I have to go through this. I'm going to go through it with you here now, and I will probably go through it once or twice more on the radio later, okay? There is, when people think of Miami that are not Floridians. I live in South Florida. I grew up in South Florida. I live in South Florida now. And when people think of Miami, they think of basically the entire southern tip of Florida, which is Miami-Dade County, okay? It used to be called, when I was growing up, Dade County. I still call it Dade. In fact, sometimes you'll hear me. I talk about Life Imaging FLA. I say they have locations in Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade County. You'll hear me say that sometimes, Dade County. You're supposed to say Miami-Dade because it's Dade. It's always going to be Dade County to me. They changed the name to Miami-Dade County. I don't know how many years ago, and it really never caught on with me. I still call it Dade County just because I've lived here most of my life, and that's what it is to me. The city of Miami is really tiny. There's, Miami, when DeSantis says and Trump says we turn Miami red, they mean Miami-Dade County. Not the city of Miami, they mean Miami-Dade County. And I have a map here. If you watch here if you're watching on the screen with the blue wall behind me, to see the video and the audio and the images I show, you have to go to my main live stream, which is pinned in the chat. Okay, this is a map of Miami-Dade County. All right, you see these lines? They're straight lines. That's Miami-Dade County, which is completely packed. It's a big metropolis. This is Miami-Dade County. The blue is the city of Miami, okay? So The blue is the city of Miami where they had the mayor's race where a Democrat won. All the rest of it, you see the lines there? That's Miami-Dade County. So DeSantis and President Trump, when they say we turn Miami red, they mean Miami-Dade County, which those of us that have lived in Florida for a long, long time refer to as Dade County. But when people that are not from Florida, who aren't from South Florida, or are young and don't, they think, when they think Miami, they don't know what they're talking about, is what I'm telling you. So this county, the Miami-Dade County, when people talk about Miami, they're talking about all this area. This is a jam-packed metropolis. The city of Miami, while it is heavily populated, the port of Miami is there and stuff, downtown Miami. About 15 to 17% of the entire population of Dade County are in the city of Miami, which is the blue, okay? The rest of the county is where about 83 to 85% of the population of Miami live, in Miami-Dade County. So no, Miami did not turn blue, and it's driving me nuts when I hear that. But all of you, no matter where you're watching, you know the regional slang and terms and places where you live and others don't. Now, it is true that they have had Republican mayors for a long, long time, but these have been in pretty liberal mayors. There's a Republican mayor that's leaving now, Suarez. He's less than a rhino. I mean, he supports all this climate change crap that's going on. So we have a Republican in less than name only who's been the mayor already, and the media are selling this like it's something. I checked the oil on my car this morning, and I got some grease on my face. Hold on, let me get something and wipe it off. Hold on. There we go. All right, there we go. I got the grease off my face. Okay, so but this is just driving me nuts because what the media are trying to, and I'm going to go over this multiple times on the program today because it's very important. Because what they're doing, you got to remember, right after New Year's, we are in the midterm election season. Okay. So what they're going to do with this is why the mainstream media have been covering this. They're going to portray that Florida is now a toss-up state again, a battleground state, that Florida's up for grabs, that there was a big upset with the Democrats in Miami, and President Trump and Governor DeSantis have been bragging that they turned Miami red, and a Democrat just beat the Trump-endorsed candidate. And when I show you the map of Miami and you see the city, how tiny it is, and furthermore, President Trump didn't have any rallies or events in the city of Miami for this guy. I mean, he gave a verbal endorsement. So, but the media are going to take this and craft a false narrative that Florida is no longer MAGA, that it's in play again. They wanted to make it a battleground toss-up state. Nothing could be further from the truth. And this map here shows you everything you need. Now, I did post this on my X, Brian Craig Show on X, just a bit ago. So if you go to my X, Brian Craig Show on X, take this map and retweet it, repost it, whatever it's called now under the X name. I guess you repost things now, and show this to everybody because it's really ticking me off. It's amazing when you see things happen like this, you see the crafting of false mainstream, I got all the grease off, false mainstream narratives. And the only reason they covered a little tiny, the city of Miami is a tiny little town, tiny little city. You can see on the map there. And the only reason they were covering this story, a little municipal election in Florida, in a tiny little town in Florida, is because they knew the Democrat was going to win the race. And what they were doing, like if you were writing a screenplay, if you're writing like a movie, they were foreshadowing the false narrative that they're about to establish, that Florida is no longer MAGA, that it's in play, Republicans are in trouble, maybe, there's the governor's race next year, so maybe we can get a Democrat governor is actually in play now, all this crap. None of that is true. And maybe I should just keep this map up the whole time I'm on the air today on the stream. But and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I mean, it's really amazing. And what I've done here is what I've just done is a preemptive exposure of the fake news narrative, because that's what they're going to run with today. And you heard it here first. Tiny little city. Look at that. When a place is red, whether it's a state or even a county, it doesn't mean that everyone in that state, in that city, in that county are Republican. And by the way, the turnout in this race, let's see here, this is in the Hill. Democrats flip Miami mayor's office, winning control for first time in 30 years. Oh, no. Look at this, 37,000 votes, 37,239 voters. 22,000 went to the Dem, 15,000 went to the Republican, okay? So you got a tiny little town. You have a tiny vote turnout. And this is what I was telling you guys, okay? And then look at this. No party affiliation. So they get to hide their party when they're on the ballot in the city of Miami. In fact, here in South Florida, we don't call that Miami. We call it the city of Miami. If you look at my post with the map, I just did this reflexively, because we don't even call that Miami. We call it the city of Miami, because it's not, The mainstream media, they are a poison. A poison. You're on the air. What's your name in our society? Where are you calling from? Yeah, that's what I thought. But if you're on hold, stand by. I would like to hear your thoughts on this. Not necessarily what happened, but how the fake news media are crafting this false narrative. All right, so I will cover that multiple times on the program today, because it is the big story. Now, President Trump had his rally in Pennsylvania, which was spectacular, and I'm going to go through that. This is him when he was talking about Ilhan Omar.
Do we have any individuals from Somalia in the group? Please raise your hand. That's for Minnesota, That's called the Great Big Minnesota Scam, with one of the dumbest governors ever in history.
That's right.
I love this Ilhan Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little turban. I love her. She comes in, there's nothing but bitch. She's always complaining. She comes from a country where, it's considered about the worst country in the world, right? They have no military, they have no nothing, they have no parliament. They don't know what the hell the word parliament means. They have nothing. They have no police.
That's right.
They police themselves. They kill each other all the time. I love it. She comes to our country, and she's always complaining about the Constitution allows me to do this. We ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order to get in, right? She married her brother. Can you imagine if Donald Trump married his sister? Beautiful. She's a beautiful person. If I married my sister to get my citizenship, do you think I'd last for about 2 hours, or would it be something less than that? She married her brother to get in. Therefore, she's here illegally. She should get the hell out. Throw her the hell out. She does nothing but complain.
Boy, it looks like Vin Diesel behind the president there, supporting the MAGA movement. You know, Tom Homan yesterday said that he's actually investigating her immigration status and her paperwork that she used to get into this country. Isn't that something? You know, this is a real thing. And I'll tell you, those of you who are Democrats, those of you that are liberal, progressive, whatever you want to call yourself, a lot of people on the left will throw the race card out, okay? And they throw the race card out these days when they have no argument. So they throw out the race card as an attempt to silence you. But in fact, this talk with Ilhan Omar is the absolute opposite of racist. You have Tom Homan, the border czar, investigating her immigration paperwork. You have President Trump. I don't know. This is like maybe the fifth or sixth time I think that I've heard him reference her immigration status. This time he called her illegal. He said she's in the country illegally. And there is a very good chance that she will be deported, a sitting member of Congress. Yeah, it's a very good chance because she's not eligible to be in Congress. If she came into the country illegally, she's here illegally, she's not a citizen, she's not even in the country legally, she's not eligible to be in the House of Representatives. That's it. And the chances of her, what would you put, if you put a number on it, what are the odds, what percentage would you put on her being deported? I would put it somewhere around 70-75% right now. As of this morning, before I thought it was greater than 50, but not by much. Now I put it up to about 70 or 75% because of what the president said right there in Pennsylvania last night, but also because of what Tom Homan said yesterday, that he's investigating her paperwork that she used to enter the country and then gain her citizenship. He's looking at it. He's investigating it. So I would put it 70-75% right now. But it's the opposite of racist for those that are going to throw the race card out. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Martin Luther King's dream, remember his dream, Martin Luther King's dream? His dream wasn't to oppress whitey, okay? Martin Luther King's dream was to live in a colorblind society where his children, his daughters, would grow up and be judged not by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. And what's happening here with Ilhan Omar, with this immigration status, she's being judged by the content of her character, which President Trump says was a major fraud to enter the country. And her status is illegal. She's in the country illegally. So that's Martin Luther King's dream of a colorblind society, being judged by the content of your character, not the color of your skin. It is the opposite of that. The race card, you call that racist, it's the opposite of racism. You know, and if you look at the reaction to him saying this, Ilhan Omar has responded several times to President Trump in the last few days since the Somali $8 billion theft. It was $1 billion, then we find out it's $8 billion. But the $8 billion in corruption with the Somali community in Minnesota, she's given many interviews. She has been asked specifically about this. She never addresses it or denies it. She pivots to another, oh, he's always attacking me, he's always talking about me, or this or that, or I'm not going anywhere. She never says that accusation is not true. At least not in the past week or so, since she's been on this media swing. Maybe years ago she said it. I'm talking about now. Because now, I don't think years ago they didn't ask her about it. Now she's being asked about it, point blank, and she just pivots and doesn't say that's absurd. I mean, you know, I have sisters, okay? If people out there were saying that I was married to my sister, first off, that's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And I would be screaming at the top of my lungs that is a lie, and whoever said that is a liar, and they're a disgusting person. I wouldn't let that stand. It's disgusting. Not just against me, but my sister would be disgusting, right? Yesterday, Candace Owens made just a bizarro claim about Tim Pool's brother. You may have heard about it. And Tim Pool was immediately outraged by it, right? And that was bad what she said, but it wasn't as bad as marrying your sibling. And I find it very interesting when Ilhan Omar is asked point blank about it, that she does not say, that's absurd, that's ridiculous, which lends credibility that it's true. Now, I want to remind you guys that this early pre-show and all the extras I've been bringing you here on YouTube and my podcast are brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. So please go to MyPillow.com, do your Christmas shopping with my promo code Kane. One thing, I've been a MyPillow user for years, maybe a decade now. I don't know how long ago I got my first MyPillow, but as I get, you always sleep well with the MyPillow products. But as I get older, look at all those Christmas specials with my promo code Kane, by the way. As I get older, I realize it's more difficult to sleep as you get older. You guys realize it is, isn't it? It is. It really is. My wife and I were the same age. She's a year older than me. And we're noticing that you just don't sleep as much as you used to. So that little bit of sleep you get, you need it to be well-rested sleep. Look at this. The 6-piece premium towel sets. 50% off. By the way, the MyPillow towel is what I clean the grease off my face from at the beginning of the stream. The Giza Dream Sheets, I sleep on these every night, over 50% off. The premium MyPillows, over 50% off. Great deals on the mattress toppers, the slippers. And you can use my promo code SITEWIDE. And remember, guys, it's very important for me to have a good showing from you all with my promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow this month, because after the first of the year, I'm going to have the big meeting as to whether or not they're going to continue sponsoring this early show for the entire next year, which is a big year because it is our the biggest midterm election we've ever had. So please do your Christmas shopping. There is still time. Go to MyPillow.com and use my promo code KANE. We'll be right back. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you they're making it through the year. They want to thank you for your continued support by passing on some Christmas specials to our listeners. Get the Children's Bible Story Pillow, the 5-pack, for just $29.98. Get the My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98. Blankets, comforters, and duvets for as low as $25. And a blowout sale on the standard MyPillows for just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call 1-800-716-4879 and use the promo code KANE to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including the standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now just $14.98. Queens, $18.99. Kings, only $1 more. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty, but MyPillow has just announced they're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee. That's right. Orders placed between now and December 25th will have their 60-day money-back guarantee extended through March 1st, 2026. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, or call 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE for huge savings on your Christmas shopping. All right. Yes. So this was the president did an interview for Politico, and he was talking about Somalia. Listen.
I want to see people that contribute. I don't want to see Somalia. I don't want to see a woman that, marries her brother to get in and then becomes a congressman, does nothing but complain. All she does is complain. Mm-hmm. And yet her country's a mess. It's one of the worst in the world. Let her go back, fix up her own country. Somalia, yeah, and I was right about it. I started complaining about Somalia long before this scandal.
Right.
The horrible things they're doing to Minnesota, it's incredible. They have an incompetent governor there, too. The Democrats are running some bad ships.
Yeah, they are. Anywhere the Democrats are running things, it's bad. The nerve, right? The nerve of someone to come here, not just from another country, a country that isn't even a country, like the president says. It's in a state of anarchy. It's very tribal. It's really prehistoric in nature so far as how the country is run and how the people live. That's why they went out of it so bad. So you come from a country that's about, literally, and this is not an exaggeration, by the way, Somalia is more than 2,000 years behind the rest of the world. We're the first world. They're behind the third world in Somalia. How many, I know they probably have some modern technology, but there's not a functioning government, society, anything. So, I mean, they're like pre-Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was more sophisticated and modern than Somalia. So you come from a country like that, and you come here, and you want to tell us how to run this great country? Where do you get off thinking that way? It's crazy. Whenever I visit another country, like on our cruises, but throughout my life, anytime I visit another country, I am on my best behavior. My best behavior. Because when I'm in another country, I'm representing America and Americans. And right now, our favorite president, Donald Trump, right? You guys feel that way? Not only am I always on my best behavior, I go out of my way to be respectful of that country. If I'm on a tour and, we have natives and they, on our cruises, we do things where we take tours, shore excursions, and we'll go to clubs and beach clubs and all kinds of stuff and have great meals prepared by locals and everything else. And even if I don't like what they're preparing, I don't tell them that. It's their traditional food. Wow, this is amazing. This is cool. Because I want to show them that I respect their culture, their country, their way of life. That I'm not some, stupid American, who's going around disrespecting people. You've got to have respect when you go abroad to other countries and to the people of those countries. But this wave of immigrants we have now, not only do they not assimilate, what do they contribute? And it's not just the Somalians, it's this entire wave. I mean, ask yourself this. Ilhan Omar's Somalian population, what have they given us by their immigration here that's a positive for this country? Can you think of any? You look at other groups in this country, you can do that. I was talking to a caller earlier in the week, African-American caller. I can't remember which caller it was. And I asked them that question. They liberal. They couldn't think of an answer. And I said, you're African-American. The slaves contributed a lot to American culture and history. Absolutely. I told him, I said, the Chinese helped build the railroad. And you can go through, look at what the Irish did for social services in New York City, as an example, police and fire, right? I mean, you can go around the country, in different parts of the country. I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio. The Germans immigrated to Ohio, and there's great culture and great things that the Germans brought to Ohio, which, by the way, was the destination of the Underground Railroad that Harriet Tubman was a part of, where escaped slaves were fleeing to. Many of them were fleeing to Ohio. So you can look at, in the past, you can look at immigrant populations or the slaves, and you can say, that group, we have this in America because of them. But with these illegals coming from the southern border or the Somalians, other than thievery and a retirement off the American taxpayer, are they contributing anything to make this country better? I mean, it's a terrible thing to say, isn't it? But it's a truth. Sometimes the truth is a difficult thing. What do they say? Is a difficult pill to swallow. And the Somali population, they're not immigrants, they're colonists. They've set up these Somalian colonies in different parts of the country, in the north, and they've got these little Somalias going on, and there's nothing good in a little Somalia. All right, let me check here. I got to see what time the radio show is going to start today. Hold on, let me check everything. How bizarre. Let me see. Hold on a second, guys. Yeah. Okay. If you're on hold, hang on. I'm going to take calls when the radio show starts today. Okay. All right. I just heard from Mike. Okay. So he told me what time what time the radio show is going to start. But that's the reality. You know, the people that are coming here now are coming here for one reason and one reason only: to suck off the American taxpayer, whether it's the $8 billion theft or Section 8 housing and SNAP benefits and Medicaid benefits. That's it. That's it. They're not, you know, they talk about a lot, you know, the liberals, they talk about these past waves of immigrants that came over here. Well, those past waves of immigrants, you know, there was no social welfare to support them. They had to work and contribute in society to eat and to have a place to live when our ancestors came here. And a lot of them were starving for a long time. You know, there's a great, one of my, when my daughter was little, my wife got the entire Little House on the Prairie book series from Laura Ingalls Wilder. And I remember when I was a kid in the 70s, that show was on TV, and I remember the girls read those books. But we read them with my daughter, and I never read the Laura Ingalls Wilder books. They are fantastic. And a lot of people like to rip them. And the reason they rip them is because it shows how the early Americans, how they worked so hard to build this country. Laura Ingalls Wilder's father would walk, I don't know how many miles, I mean, and just moving all over the country with the family just so he could make a living. And I read a book not too long ago that was a book that Laura Ingalls Wilder talked about. I can't remember the name of the book. My wife will remember because we were reading it together. And it's a book that was written by a guy who was in the United States Cavalry, and it was a book that was a handbook for people that were taking wagon trains out west. And it went through how to survive on the wagon trains. And it was basically a handbook. And the struggles that people had to endure just to have a roof over their head and food for themselves and their children and their families are sacred. Now what happens? You come over here, they set you up in a hotel room in New York City, they give you a debit card filled with cash that they recharge every month. You can order DoorDash or Uber Eats and have food delivered to your New York City hotel room, and you don't have to work. You don't have to get a handbook and take a wagon train out west or break a sweat. You're in New York City, living in a hotel room for free, and your whole family are fed, your kids are educated, you got no worries. You're basically retired. That's what's going on now. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, and when we get back, the radio show will be starting shortly. We'll get going.
Remember the first time the Charter stores swung open and your world got a little bigger? If you're a fan of the classic days of Doctor Who, the monsters, the mysteries, the wobbly sets, and the endless charm of the Doctor and his companions, then it's time to rediscover it all with The Whonies, a Doctor Who podcast, available on Amazon. Each episode breaks down one episode of Doctor Who, bringing back the nostalgia, the fun, and the magic that made you a fan in the first place. Whether you're a lifelong Whovian or just stepping back into time and space, The Whonies is your weekly trip through the universe of classic Doctor Who, one episode at a time. Relive the laughs, the lore, and the legacy with The Whonies, a Doctor Who podcast, now streaming on Spotify. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you they're making it through the year. They want to thank you for your continued support by passing on some Christmas specials to our listeners. Get the Children's Bible Story Pillow, the 5-pack, for just $29.98. Get the My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98. Blankets, comforters, and duvets for as low as $25. And a blowout sale on the standard MyPillows for just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call 1-800-716 716-4879 and use the promo code KANE to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including the standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now just $14.98. Queens, $18.99. Kings, only $1 more. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty, but MyPillow has just announced they're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee. That's right. Orders placed between now and December 25th will have their 60-day money-back guarantee extended through March 1st, 2026. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, or call 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE for huge savings on your Christmas shopping. Are you looking for a gift that lasts a lifetime? One that's personal, powerful, and proudly American-made. At Back 40 Metalworks on Etsy, that's Works, W-O-R-X. They turn ideas into steel. Since 2010, Back 40 Metalworks has been crafting over 200 unique metal art designs, from wildlife and rustic decor to modern wall pieces and custom creations. With more than 30 years of experience working with metal, they know how to shape your vision into something extraordinary. Need a personalized welcome sign for your home? A company logo? A one-of-a-kind Christmas gift? Something for mom or dad on their day? Or any other day of the year? Every piece at Back 40 Metalworks is built to last, indoors or out, and every design tells a story, your story, in steel. Visit the shop online right now, back40metalworks.etsy.com. That's W-O-R-X, and view the inventory. You will be impressed. Back 40 Metalworks.etsy.com. They turn ideas into steel.
All right, the radio show will start in about 90 seconds, and I'm going to lead with this Dade County thing, and then we'll get back to the rally, because it just ticks me off what they're doing with this City of Miami mayor's race. It really ticks me off. So I covered it a little bit at the beginning of the stream, but I got to do it for the radio audience. We're about a minute away. If you're watching for the first time, my name is Brian Craig. This is Where MAGA Comes to Talk. I host a morning radio show that's on a bunch of FM radio stations, and I live stream on YouTube when we're on the radio. So what you've been hearing is a pre-show, and then sometimes we're in radio station breaks, and we're going to be on the air in about 45 seconds. So I have to reopen the radio show. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe. By the way, if you're interested in advertising on the program, if you go to my website, briancraigshow.com, you can email me there if you're interested in advertising. briancraigshow.com. The email there, I am the only person that checks that email. It goes directly to me. No one else. All right, here we go. 20 seconds. Stand by. Welcome to the program. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. If you're on hold, stand by. We've got a lot to cover. I'm going to go through the Trump rally in Pennsylvania, which was amazing last night. And his comments on Ilhan Omar were perfect and beautiful. We're going to cover all that. And there's a lot of things to cover, but I feel an ethical, a moral, a professional obligation to talk about what is happening in the mainstream media, including Fox News Channel right now, and that is the crafting of a false, fake narrative and news story, and that is that Miami has turned blue. Miami has not turned blue. Miami has not turned Democrat. Miami is MAGA red. Miami is Republican red, and it is a strong Trump Republican MAGA stronghold. And the media have been covering this City of Miami mayor's race the past couple of days, and I haven't talked about it. And, you know, the city of Miami is where this mayor's race was. Not Miami, the city of Miami. Yes, a Democrat won. I'm sure she's a lunatic. But Miami is still red. The city of Miami is a tiny, tiny little city. Those of you that watch me on YouTube, I put together a map this morning of Miami, and it's all red except for the part that is the city of Miami. And by the way, they had a low voter turnout, which I'll get to in a moment. But I show Miami. If you watch me on YouTube, Brian Craig Show on YouTube, I've got a map of Miami. It's all red except for the part where the city of Miami is. The city of Miami is a tiny town. The city of Miami is a very tiny town. Now, I grew up in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale in particular, and when I was growing up, we didn't call it Miami-Dade County. It was Dade County. And a number of years ago, they changed the name of Dade County to Miami-Dade County for tourism reasons, right? But they changed it to Miami-Dade County. I still call it Dade County most of the time. In fact, if you hear me when I talk about Life Imaging FLA, I'll say sometimes I'll catch myself and I'll say it, like you're supposed to say it now, but I'll say they have locations in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach County. You hear me say that sometimes? And some people, what's Dade County? They don't even know anymore what I'm talking about, right? But I still call it Dade County, but it's Miami-Dade County. When those of us that are Floridians, when we talk about Miami, we're talking about Miami-Dade County, okay? Miami-Dade County, the county formerly known as Dade County. When we're talking about the city of Miami, we will say the city of Miami. The city of Miami is not only a tiny little town in Miami-Dade County, okay? It does have downtown Miami and the port of Miami in it, but it's still very tiny. About 15 to 17% of the population of the county live in the city of Miami, right? So 83 to 85% of people who live in Miami-Dade County live outside of the city of Miami. Okay? So, but the media are trying to craft a false narrative that Miami turned blue when it didn't. The city of Miami went from a liberal Republican, rhino, fake Republican mayor to a Democrat mayor, no doubt about it. But Miami is still MAGA. It is still red. And, when you hear Governor DeSantis or President Trump say, DeSantis likes to take credit for other people's work. Trump turned Miami red. Okay, not DeSantis. The Attorney General of Florida came up with the idea of Alligator Alcatraz, not DeSantis, but he likes to take credit for other people's work, whatever, But when you hear Governor DeSantis or President Trump say, we turned Miami red, we turned Miami MAGA, Miami went red for the first time in however long it's been, they mean not the city of Miami, they mean Miami-Dade County. This is a very important point because the fake news media they're already saying that Miami's flipped Democrat, that it's blue now. It is not. It is redder than ever. Maybe redder today than it was yesterday because of what's going on with the city of Miami. And I'm going to do my best to get people alert to what's going on here because what they want to do, not only is Miami redder than ever and MAGA, this is a strong Republican state. This is a MAGA state. City of Miami's Democrat, but it is a MAGA Republican red state. But what they want to do in the media, and this is what they're in the process of doing, they may be already doing it. I've seen them already in the overnight that I was watching when I was doing my show prep today, start with this false narrative. They want to clarify, they want to classify Florida as a battleground state, a toss-up state that's in play, so that they have some hope for the Democrats in the midterms in Florida. Our governor's race is this year. DeSantis is term limited out. So they want to have a whole year of stories that, Democrat could win this. Democrat ain't going to win it, okay? Democrat is not going to win it. This is a red state, people. It is a red state. when we talk about Miami, those of us that are, like the other day, I got a call last week from a guy who was claiming to, I'm in Southeast Florida, and I said, no, you're not, people in, we say South Florida, we don't say Southeast Florida, we say South Florida. He's like, yeah, but isn't it we don't say that. And if you're in Southwest Florida, you say, I live on the Gulf Coast or the West Coast. So, those of you, no matter where you live, you know all the regional lingo for your area, but people outside your area may not know it. And the news media, in particular the left-wing news, but I don't trust Fox on this because they've spent, Fox, I thought it was very strange they were spending so much time on this tiny little municipal election in the city of Miami. But for those of us that are Floridians, when we say Miami, like next week, my wife and I, we're going to Miami. We're not going to the city of Miami. We're going to Miami-Dade County, and we're going to Miami Beach for something. Miami Beach is where South Beach is. We're going to Miami Beach. Okay? When we talk about Miami, when DeSantis is saying I turn Miami red, he means Miami-Dade County, not the city of Miami. The Port of Miami, where's the Port of Miami? It's in the city of Miami. Where's downtown Miami? Downtown Miami's in the city of Miami. That's how you talk down here. And, I know you may think I'm spending too much time on this. But I disagree with you because they are going to start with this today, telling you that Miami flipped blue from red, and it didn't. It is a lie, and I am calling it out before they have a chance to get their fake news media. Now, this map I put together shows Miami-Dade County. It's all red, except I have in blue the city of Miami. And I did it on a whole map of Florida, but the city of Miami was so tiny you couldn't see it. It was like microscopic. You need a microscope. So I had to just do it with a blow-up of the county. And remember, 83% of the population of Miami live outside of the city of Miami. So if you go to my X, Brian Craig Show on X, okay, you can you can take this map and share it and stop this fake news before it happens. Now, I want to talk about Jamie Levac from Swift Tax. A lot of you have been calling Jamie Levac from Swift Tax. Please keep doing that, guys. This is the time. The entire tax code has changed with the big, beautiful bill. And I was talking with Jamie Levac yesterday. Some people, they don't want to hire an accountant. Well, I can just do them myself, or I can get the TurboTax for real cheap, or there's some H&R Block guy at Walmart or something. They'll do it for $50. First of all, when you go to Jamie Levac from Swift Tax, when you hire a tax professional, it is 100% deductible from your taxes. It's a deduction. So in essence, it costs you nothing, okay? But it's costing you a lot of money to use that TurboTax, do it yourself, or go to that H&R Block guy or that guy at the exit at Walmart, because you're not going to get all the deductions you're entitled to. Those of you that are in the gig economy, an Uber driver, Lyft driver, Uber Eats, DoorDash, or one of those types of industries, you need to call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. He has a special expertise with the new economy. I work in the new economy, right, with my podcast and everything else. You need to have someone that just doesn't know the ins and outs of the entire new tax code from the big, beautiful bill. You need someone who understands the new type of worker out there. So if you are any of those 1099 workers that work in any of those industries, you need to call Jamie Levac. He has a lot of clients in those industries, and he has an expertise in it. If you are a Social Security recipient, you need to call Jamie Levac from Swift Tax. There's a entirely new tax structure for those of you receiving Social Security benefits, even if you're fully retired and don't work. If you receive Social Security and you're still working, call Jamie Levac. There's huge tax savings for you. If you're part of the tip economy, the no tax on tips, make sure. Call Jamie Levac. He'll make sure, and you're going to, boy, oh boy, what a surprise you're going to get when you get your taxes done by Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. And if you have a business, he can help you with that too. Yesterday, we were talking about people that owe back taxes for past years. He can help you out. Maybe you don't owe any taxes on those past years. Let Jamie Levac from Swift Tax find out for you. And by the way, he can help you no matter where you are in the United States. He's based in Broward County, but he can help you no matter what, right here in South Florida. But he can help you no matter where you are in the United States. He can even help you if you're in another country, by the way. But no matter where you are in the United States, he can help you. This number rings directly to Jamie Levac from Swift Tax, 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. That's 954-773-1587. We'll be right back. We're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Hank from Hollywood. How you doing?
All right, Hank. What's on your mind?
I called Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. He sent out Scott. Now, Scott is absolutely the best. Scott and Scott's crew are the absolute best. They gave me a great price. They did the job when they said they were going to do it. They finished the job when they said they were going to do it. The materials they used, absolutely the best. I want to thank Tom. I definitely want to thank Scott, and definitely want to thank Scott's crew. These people are number one, and I just want your listeners to know, Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. If you need a new roof, call Tom at Tom Laporta Roofing. You're not going to go wrong. You're not going to be disappointed.
Do what Hank did. Call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, laportaroofing.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Sandra. I'm calling from Delray Beach. The Barry Siegel Law Group did such wonderful work for me, and I was very particular. I'm a professional myself, and I went to about 3 or 4 attorneys prior. They wanted to do what they wanted to do. They didn't want to add anything extra, but Barry tailored it to my needs. And it's not only the trust. There's so many other end-of-life documents, the living will, the will, and I tailored each one of them to my liking, and they were wonderful and always, always polite. Never showed any aggravation, or because I contacted them many times. Always polite. And not only that, when you finish your documents and you leave this world, your beneficiaries could go there and they'll explain everything to them, which is a big deal because a lot of these beneficiaries or heirs, they're not cognizant of what to do. I just wanted to let you know that the Siegel Group is above and beyond any other attorney that I have ever contacted. Plus, they give you a big portfolio at the end with a leather-bound documents. It's beautiful.
Give the Siegel Law Group a call, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, siegellawgroup.com. How would you like to make your child's Christmas unforgettable? You can do just that with Santa Voice. With Santa Voice, you generate a personal message from Santa. It's fast, fun, and magical. Just search Santa Voice in the App Store. That's Santa Voice in the App Store. All right, we'll be back shortly. We got a little more than a minute, maybe a minute and a half. We'll be back live on the radio. We're still in a radio station break. If you are watching with the green wall behind me to see and hear all the video and audio sound bites I play and the images I show, you have to go to my main stream, which is linked in the description. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll take calls after the break. If you want to call in, no matter where you're watching, it's toll-free. The number's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. And just to point out, guys, on YouTube, this line that you see, that's the county line, okay, of Miami-Dade County that was turned red. And then the blue here is the city of Miami where the Democrat won. Can you freaking believe this? 83% of the population live in the red parts, which include these islands, because you know Miami Beach and everything are on these islands. It's insane. I mean, I just can't let them get away with it. I'm not going to sit here and let them tell a lie that Florida is in play and is a battleground state now, and that Trump's popularity has fallen and Miami went Democrat. I just can't stand for that, and I'm not going to let it happen. Yeah. The number is, like I said, it's toll-free, 888-465-2631. 2631, 888-465-2631. It's pinned in the live chat. We got about 20 seconds. We'll be back on the radio. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Our number, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Renee from Harlem.
Hey, Renee. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing fine. So, Lion Brian, the bigot midget, I just had to give you your right radio, White Power Hour. That's what this place is called. White Power. Now, I hate to bust your bubble, but that was a Democrat that was elected. And as much as you might try to minimize the victory, it was a victory. And and you guys are going to take a bath in the midterms, by the way.
You know, this is the thing, okay? There's no standard where Democrats are never going to win an election, but you're talking about a little tiny, you know, for those of you that are in South Florida, maybe we should cover the municipal election in the city of Tamarack or Margate or something. I mean, this is a tiny little, it's 83% of the population are in the red parts of that county. Miami did not flip blue.
As much as it's so tiny and minuscule, you can't stop talking about it.
Because,
you keep repeating it.
Because the national media are promoting a lie right now.
Oh, it hurt your feelings, huh?
No, I want people to know the truth. They're being lied to in the national media.
Say it a few more times.
They'll probably have this Democrat on The View.
You're still going to lose, buddy.
Lose what?
You're going to lose.
Lose what?
Everything. The midterms. And you know what? Trump is going back to jail.
What do you mean back to jail? When was he in jail? When was Trump in jail? I missed that. You said back to jail?
He was indicted 34 times, wasn't he?
You said back to jail? When was he in jail? When was he in jail?
He's going to be in jail. He's going to be in jail.
You said he's going to go. You said Trump is going to go back to jail. Are you under the impression he was in jail? What's the matter with you?
He was arrested, stupid.
You're in a jail. You're in a Trump derangement syndrome suffering prison.
Illegal, which means he's a criminal. As far as being a rapist and a racist, he's also very stupid.
Well, I will say this. When you're talking about stupid, at least you're talking about something you're an expert in, being stupid yourself, saying all these stupid things. I'm going to cover this story multiple times about Miami and the city of Miami on the program today because the media are selling a lie. This Democrat mayor is going to be on The View. They're going to be on MSNBC. They're going to be on CNN. They may even be in studio on Fox. And they're going to try. The media are desperate to find something where Trump is not winning, and it's just not going to happen here. It's not going to happen. Now, after the bottom of the hour break, I'm going to get into the rally in Pennsylvania last night. I'm going to go through some of the clips. I'm going to start with what he said about Ilhan Omar, but I'm going to go through some of the audio clips from the rally in Pennsylvania, which was great. I want to tell you this. Prices are dropping, and they're dropping bigly, okay? Now, I was telling you guys yesterday, and this really ticked off some of our listeners. My wife bought steaks from Publix this week, 35% off. She ordered the groceries from DoorDash, and I have them set the groceries on the front porch. I never let the people in my house. Do you guys let the DoorDashers in your house? I don't even open the door. We leave direct, set them on the front porch, and then when they leave, I go out and get them. And paranoid maybe, but hey, safety first. And I'm unpacking the groceries, and there's steak there. And I said to my wife, I said, what are you buying steak for? 35% off. Wow. Thank you, President Trump. I got steak in the freezer right now. I have it over the weekend, 35% off. Yesterday, I take my wife's car to the gas station, My wife's car is very low on gas. I filled up my wife's car. It was less than $30, $29 and change. It was pretty much empty. Less than $30 to fill up my wife's car. When the pump stopped, because I had it on, I put the little thing up so it pumps itself, and I'm going through my text messages and everything, and it stopped. And I looked up, and it said 29 and change. I thought it was broken. I thought, you know how sometimes it stops because the flow gets up there, and I thought it stopped prematurely. And I went to do it, wouldn't pump anymore. It was clicking. It wouldn't pump because the tank was full. And I looked up, it was $29 and change. And I was like, wow. I felt like I was getting the gas for free. I can't remember the last time I filled up my car for less than $30, unless I was just topping it off and it already had like 3/4 of a tank in it. It felt great. Got my steaks for 35% off. Gas is way under $3. And I was so excited. Less than $30 to fill up my wife's car yesterday. And you know what? The prices are coming down even more. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Boy, oh boy, I tell you. Renee from On This. He sound like he's winning anything? I don't think so. Sounds pretty miserable to me. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, we'll start with that. We'll start with that one. Hold on. Now, guys that watch early, you've heard me talk about this. Mike Lindell and MyPillow have been sponsoring the early pre-show that I've been doing, okay? And after Christmas, I'm going to have the big meeting to find out if they're going to continue that for the entire year next year, for 2026. They're sponsoring my pre-show and a lot of the extras that I'm doing here on YouTube and with my podcast. So please do your Christmas shopping at mypillow.com with my promo code Kane at checkout so I can get this year-long deal with them. Look at the Christmas specials. 50% off the MyPillow towels. Over 50% off the Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, which Giza Cotton, these are 100% Giza Cotton. This is the finest cotton in the world. I sleep on these. The premium MyPillow is over 50% off. Great deals on the mattress topper. You know, I have a MyPillow mattress topper, and I've been sleeping on MyPillow mattress toppers for years. The MyPillow slippers just $39.98. These you could use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, for all the specials site-wide at mypillow.com. Even the socks. I told my wife to order me some socks. I can never have enough socks. You know, look at that, 37% off the MyPillow socks. These are great Christmas gifts. Look at the children's Bible pillow, the 5-pack. You get all 5 of the pillows for $29.98. And look at these pillows. Each one, see this? They have stories from the Bible on them. Creation. You get all of them, all 5 for $29.98. And then on the back, on the front, they have the artwork. On the back, they tell the story that's depicted. On the front, Daniel in the lion's den's on the front, and then you get the story on the back. These are great. Yeah, with my promo code Kane, you get all 5 of them for $29.98. These are great gifts for the kids and grandkids. Jonah and the whale, great artwork on the front. The back tells the story. Noah, look at that beautiful artwork. Yeah, then the story of Noah on the back, the story of baby Jesus, of course, and then the back, the story, and you get all of them for $29.98 with the children's Bible story pillows with my promo code Kane. So those are great things. Okay, stand by. We're coming back in about 30 seconds. Yeah, great deals. We are back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Richie.
This is to Renee in Harlem. There are I watch a lot of black podcasters that have brains, but this guy from Harlem, Renee, you are one of the dumbest black men that have ever walked the face of the earth. On top of that, you are such a racist. It's disgusting. All you say is, Brian, you're stupid. Brian, you're stupid. You're going to go down. It's so ridiculous. Let me explain to you, Renee, about the demographics of Miami, the city itself, okay? The city has a ton load of Haitians who vote Democratic.
The city of Miami.
There was nothing on the ballot.
Yeah.
Yes. The city of Miami. So when you break down the demographics, and the reason President Trump won all of Dade County in such red, and I believe that if he had have done this already, they would have been dominant again. He hasn't attacked Venezuela, and the media keeps on saying that the American people are not behind that. I don't believe that in a heartbeat.
Of course we're behind it. Of course we're tired of this. And you know the thing about trying to and I know. Of course, Renee thinks I'm spending too much time explaining the difference between Miami-Dade County and the city of Miami, but you know that the media are already saying that Miami's flipped blue when it's not true. In fact, Miami-Dade County, they just gave for nothing very valuable real estate right on the water at Bayside next to the Freedom Tower for the Trump Presidential Library, right? They just voted, the county government just gave it to him for free. To build the library. I hope he doesn't build it there, but there's no room for his plane in that spot. But I've got to. I'm going to go over this probably once an hour today on the show. It's got to be exposed before they get that false narrative out there.
Well, they're going to do it anyway, though. But
people will know they're lying.
Had he attacked Venezuela already, my point is this. I don't know what he's waiting on. I mean, this is getting a little ridiculous. It's like the boy that cried wolf. The people in Dade County and people all over are saying, let's go. Let's do this. Get this guy out. And the people of Venezuela and Colombia and South America and Cuba want him out. So the
Richie,
bottom line
come on,
is,
wait a minute. There's, I'm sure you've seen in the news today that for the first time, U.S. fighter jets entered Venezuelan airspace. Okay, there's
them out.
Yeah, there's exactly. There's a major troop buildup of Marines in the Caribbean that are ready to deploy. And if you remember, in the Gulf War, the first Gulf War, the first war with Iraq, it took them 6 months. After they started sending troops to Saudi Arabia, it took them 6 months to move in to retake Kuwait. They've got to be. This is a very Richie. I don't care if they're not patient. This is how long have the Cubans been waiting for Cuba to be free? This is a very yeah, exactly. Since before I was alive.
57.
Yeah, so
1957.
This is a very delicate operation because the targets in Venezuela are not military targets. The cartels are almost, it's like civilian targets we're talking about here, not military targets. Come on.
You don't have to convince me. I'm telling you about what the regular people on the street feel. I mean, and I know you're right on this one, but the thing is this: I think it's going to happen before Christmas. It has to happen. But Dade County is definitely a Republican.
Oh, please.
And the city of Miami is Republican. I told you there's nothing. What was the turnout? You got to look at the turnout.
There was such a low turnout. The turnout.
Yeah, see, that's what
the turnout, and I pulled this up. This article's in The Hill. And by the way, all this information I'm sharing about the city of Miami. See, here in those of us who were Floridians, especially South Floridians, when we say Miami, we say the city of Miami. We don't say when we say Miami, But anyway, the turnout was low, 37,000 was the whole turnout, 37,000. The winner got 22,000. The loser got 15,000 votes. Very, very low turnout too.
Yeah, there's nothing. And I bet you if you take a look, you can't look at that, but I bet you it's mostly Haitians because they're Democrats.
I don't know. I don't have that breakdown yet.
And they're upset. They're upset that President Trump with Haiti is sending them back.
Yes.
So that's exactly what happened. Renee doesn't know a damn thing. He's so stupid. Renee, you are stupid.
Well,
and it's ridiculous.
You know,
he has no substance.
One of the things we do here, Hannity used to say this a lot. I don't know if he still says this on his radio show. He used to say this a lot, combating liberal media bias. And I'm spending, they want to get a narrative. And right after the first of the year, it is the midterm election season. And this is going to be the biggest midterm elections in any of our lives, bigger than the 94 Republican Revolution with the Contract for America. That was nothing compared to what's going to be going on this year. And they desperately want to be able to portray that Miami went blue, it flipped blue from red, Trump's not popular, and that Florida is in play. And it's not. I'm not going to, and people that listen to me, you're going to be informed.
Last thing I want to say to Renee and to all the people out there that think this way. He's saying he's a convicted felon. It was a kangaroo court, and Renee should know if he was in the South back in the 1950s, a black man had no shot. Trump has no shot in New York because they're all left-leaning idiots who put him there. The jury pool, it never should have been tried there. And the militant DA, who should be in jail, who's done worse. I mean, totally, she's the truth. And she's walking the streets with her big militant mouth, like Renee, a militant black person.
You're talking about Letitia James. I mean, I don't know why you got to put the black on there. I don't know why you got to add that in. You know, Letitia,
that's why
she's just a criminal, and she's emboldened now because she got away with it.
Racist. She's also a black racist who's running the show down there. Who runs the campaign? I'm going to get Trump, the white man.
Yeah, I get you.
It's so ridiculous.
It is. All right, Richie. Richie's all fired up today. You know, this move with Venezuela is going to be happening. It's going to be happening soon. This is the president. I'm going to go through the clips from Pennsylvania last night, but he also had a little presser on Air Force One. I know. Everyone's wondering. President Trump was speaking, and the bathroom door opened up and hit him when he was talking to the press. That was a Secret Service agent in the bathroom on Air Force One. But here's the president on Air Force One yesterday talking about Jasmine Crockett.
Just saying, what's happening here?
Mr. President, what's your reaction to Jasmine Crockett jumping in the Senate primary in Texas?
Well, she's a low IQ person. I can't imagine she wins. Maybe she'll get the Democrat nomination, but I think it's a gift to Republicans. She's a terrible representative. I watched her for the last 2 years. I can't even believe she's a politician, actually. Hi, Brian.
Will you be...
Just saying, what?
Well, and this clip here, I didn't play it because of Jasmine so much. He said, "Hi, Brian." That was Brian Glenn that he said hi to. He went out of his way to say, "Hi, Brian," and he's Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, she was on CNN yesterday saying the worst things you could say about Trump. She's a terrible person, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know? And he's going, and this is the second time I've seen him do it in the last couple of days. He's going out of his way to praise Brian Glenn, Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend. And I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. I don't know if Brian Glenn and Marjorie Taylor Greene are still together, if a breakup's coming. I don't know if the president is trying to tick off Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to show everyone that he doesn't hold grudges against people that are in a relationship with traitors. I don't know. But he went out of his way to give that shout out to Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend, which I thought was very interesting. Now, here's him on stage. This is him on stage in Pennsylvania talking about Ilhan Omar. Listen.
Do we have any individuals from Somalia in the group? Please raise your hand. That's for Minnesota, you know. That's called the Great Big Minnesota Scam with one of the dumbest governors ever in history. I love this. Ilhan Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little turban. I love her. She comes in. There's nothing but bitch. She's always complaining. She comes from a country where, I mean, it's considered about the worst country in the world, right? They have no military. They have no nothing. They have no parliament. They don't know what the hell the word parliament means. They have nothing. They have no police. They police themselves. They kill each other all the time. I love it. She comes to our country, and she's always complaining about the Constitution allows me to do this. We ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order to get in, right? She married her brother. Can you imagine if Donald Trump married his sister? Beautiful. She's a beautiful person. If I married my sister to get my citizenship, do you think I'd last for about 2 hours, or would it be something less than that? She married her brother to get in. Therefore, she's here illegally. She should get the hell out. Throw her the hell out. She does nothing but complain.
There's a crowd saying, get her out. Get her out, they're chanting. I'm going to put, right now, this has changed, okay? Over the weekend, and I was telling you guys that there's a little bit greater than a 50% chance that she gets deported. I'm going to put that number between 70 and up to as high as 75% chance right now. And this is, I don't know, maybe the third, fourth time I've heard the president say that. Now he's calling her an illegal. Tom Homan said yesterday he's investigating her paperwork that she used to enter the country. And Tom Homan doesn't play. If she's in the country illegally, Tom Homan's going to announce it and show it. She'll no longer be in Congress. She's not eligible to be in Congress. If she entered the country illegally, she's not a citizen. She's an illegal alien. That's what the president said. She'll be out of Congress and deported. But now again, I don't know. Will they seize her $30 million that her and her husband have amassed? She could be the queen of Somalia with $30 million, but she will be removed from Congress and deported. I put around 70, 75% chance right now. That's right. George Santos went to prison. Democrat Menendez, a sitting senator, he's in prison right now. And she committed a crime. She could go to jail for that crime. But I'll settle for deportation. What do you put the odds at? I'm putting the odds between 70 and 75% chance of her being deported. What do you guys think? The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are tuned in. Now, if you or someone you know suffer from neuropathy, listen up. Lighthouse Medical has a treatment for neuropathy that works and a treatment that lasts. Steve Kane had every neuropathy symptom in the medical journals. He went to Lighthouse Medical. After just one treatment, he was seeing relief the next day. And now, 3.5 years later, they rid him of his neuropathy symptoms. 3.5 years later, they have not returned. Okay? The numbness, the pain, the burning, the tingling in your hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching, the feeling of pins and needles in the hands and feet. No feeling at all. You know, if you have these symptoms, you may have neuropathy. Give them a call and find out if you have neuropathy. But if you do, they can get rid of those symptoms. You can get your life back. Lighthouse Medical can help you no matter where you are in the United States. So if you're local and you can make it in the office, that's great. But even if you're local, they understand it's maybe difficult for you to even get out of bed, not to mention get in the car and go to a doctor's office, or if you're somewhere else in the country. So telemedicine is available. Give them a call. Make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show so you can take advantage of the no-charge consultation. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back. If you're on hold, stand by, okay? We'll be back.
What if the end of the world was closer than anyone believed? The new novel that reached #1 on Amazon from author Patrick J. Williams, A Revelation, explores grief, resilience, and the moment fate demands you choose who you're going to be. He was once a rising leader on campus, but after heartbreak shattered his life, every day became a battle, and every night a blur of bad choices. Then on a routine run through the streets of Philadelphia, everything changed, because in the sky and above the city, he saw something no one was prepared for. A vision so impossible, so breathtaking, it shook the very foundation of everything he believed. Now, whispers are spreading, reality is blurring, and he's caught between the world he knows and a truth too powerful to ignore. If you enjoy stories filled with mystery, emotion, and a touch of the divine, this is your next must-read book. Order your copy of Revelation from author Patrick J. Williams right now on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. This book also makes a great addition to your book club. Order your copy right now.
This is Dr. Philip Appleton. I'm a chiropractic physician. I've seen thousands and thousands of patients in my career. I've been a chiropractic physician here in Pompano Beach for 40 years. We're open 6 days a week. If you have sciatica, you have bursitis, you have tendonitis, you're tired of taking the pills, the drugs, the injections, and you heard that you have to live with it, well, there's a lot of times you don't have to live with it. I've had great success with helping people. My testimonials are marvelous with patients. They love the treatment because no injections, there's no medication, there's no surgery, there's none of that. It's strictly either the laser or the acupuncture I do or shockwave therapy I do. Open 6 days a week. Come in for the free consultation and be willing to look at you and help you.
Take advantage of that no-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com.
All right, we'll be back in about a minute. If you're watching with the green wall behind me, to see and hear all the audio and the video and the images I show, you got to go to my main live stream. The link to my main live stream on YouTube is in the description. If you're watching with the green wall behind me, if you want to call in, the number is toll free. It's pinned in the live chat, okay? I'm going to get back to the Pennsylvania rally. It was great, wasn't it? That guy to the back on the right of the screen looks like Vin Diesel. We got about 40 seconds and we'll be back. All right, stand by. Yeah, a listener sent me this shirt to the radio station. That's where I got this shirt at. Some people like that. Yeah, this is a nice shirt. Looks good on camera too, doesn't it? Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I'm going to go back to the rally. This is President Trump in Pennsylvania last night, which was really a great rally. We needed a new rally, didn't we? And you know what? In the next year, we are going to have rallies constantly, right? Remember Susie Wiles, who was with the president last night, Susie Wiles said that it's going to be like a presidential election season. That's how they're going to treat it, like he's running for president again. That's great. That's awesome. Here we go. So this is President Trump. He's talking about corrupt Governor Tim Walz in Minnesota.
Ilhan Omar and the people from Somalia, they hate our country. And they think we're stupid people, which actually, when they allow that to happen, they are. That's headed by Governor Walz, one of the dumber people around. Mm-hmm. No, but think of it. He's given not like peanuts, billions. These are people that don't work in their own country. Their own country's a failure. They have no money there. And yet they come into our country and steal tens of billions of dollars. How stupid are we to allow that to happen? Mm-hmm. They can't earn 10 cents in their country. They come over here rob. Are we that easy? Are we that easy to allow a thing like that to happen? That's up to you. And look at what's going on in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, It's going to be a bad year for the Democrats. And I was really energized. When was the last time we had a Trump rally? And, I was watching on Right Side Broadcasting. Here in Florida, I'm wearing T-shirts and stuff now. It looked like blizzard conditions in Pennsylvania. And I saw when the president got off Marine One, what the conditions were. Oh, my goodness. People were waiting in line all day long in the snow, in the rain, in the sleet, in the freezing cold and ice, all day long just to get in there. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine? Here we are in Florida in shorts and T-shirts. That's dedication. That's how popular Trump is in Pennsylvania. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Eric. I'm calling from Texas. So a Democrat won in Miami by 20 points in a mayor's seat they haven't held since the 90s. I just wanted to know how nervous you are for the midterms.
Well, I'm glad you asked about this. I was talking about it earlier. There was a mayor's race in the city of Miami, not Miami. Miami is still MAGA red. Do you want to hear, or do you want to live in the matrix?
Up really well with the other off-year results that are shifting.
The city. Okay, Miami. Okay, Miami is. I'm going to answer these other lines, so just bear with me. Miami is a county, Miami-Dade County. Right? Oh, he hung up. He didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to hear it. He hung up. He did not want to hear it. Ah, la, 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 la. I want to live in the matrix. I want to live in the matrix. Oh my God. See what I mean? See what I mean about these people? They're so desperate to have a Trump loss. A tiny little town. They had a turnout of 37,000 votes. 37,000 votes. 22,000 went to the winner. 15,000 went to the loser. 37,000 votes. And it's not Miami, Dade County, it's the city of Miami. I mean, those of you that are South Floridians, do you want us to talk about the mayoral race in the city of Fort Lauderdale or the city of Hollywood? But as soon as that guy started to hear his fantasy be shattered, he hung up. He didn't want to hear the truth. See what I told you? They're going to try to get a false narrative going that Florida is turning blue, so that they can portray this as a battleground state in the midterms, which it is not. I almost didn't talk about this. Miami mayor's race has been talked about in the national media the last 2 or 3 days. I haven't talked about it because we don't talk about local politics on the show. People contact us all the time. Now, we might, have somebody on that's running for, a local office, but we don't talk about local races at all. When's the last time you heard us on this program? Those of you that are longtime listeners of the Steve Kane Show, when have you heard us talk about local Florida municipal races? And, there's a rule of thumb about this, and this is, one of the things I learned from Steve Kane. I remember when I was first starting out, I did a show. I had in studio somebody that was running for office somewhere, and I can't remember if it was either the city of Coconut Creek or Fort Lauderdale. I can't remember which one. And Steve told, and this is so true. He says, "Don't do that again." He says it's radio death. I said, "What do you mean?" He said, the only people that care about the city commission race in Coconut Creek, which is a tiny little town like the city of Miami, are people that live in Coconut Creek, and most of them don't even care, right? So as a rule of thumb, unless there's a special thing, we don't talk about municipal elections. Now, with that being said, if you're running for a municipal office, you certainly want to run ads on our radio station and call the radio station. That's different. But we don't talk about city commission races or mayor's races in these tiny little cities. You ever heard us have the mayor, somebody on who's running for the mayor of the town of Davie or the city of Tamarack? No. And that's why we haven't covered Miami. Now, in the past, we have had some past mayors from the city of Miami on, like during the Ilhan Gonzalez drama, right? Because there was a controversy, and we were talking about Ilhan Gonzalez. And Suarez, this rhino, it was his daddy, wasn't it? Was the famous Mayor Suarez? Is he still alive, the famous Mayor Suarez? But anyway, no. And so we haven't talked about the city of Miami mayor's race because Miami is such a tiny town. Only about 15 to 17% of the population of Miami-Dade County live in the city of Miami. Okay? It's a tiny town. And you heard it from that last caller. They want to have that as some bellwether for Florida in the midterms. Are you kidding me? 83% of the people of Miami live outside of the city of Miami. And they had an incredibly low turnout. Just, what was it, 37,000 people turned out to vote. That's how tiny it is. And that's why I'm going to go over this throughout the show today. Steve might give me a hard time because we have a policy against the municipal elections. But you can see already, that was an out-of-state caller. He's not a Floridian, right? You can see already that Democrats nationwide and the fake news media want to get involved in this ridiculous mayoral race. That's why they've been covering it so much, because they knew the Democrat was going to win. By the way, I was looking at the results. It says on the Hill has the results. It says no party affiliation. When you vote for the mayor in the city of Miami, do they not tell you their party affiliation? That's strange, isn't it? It is. It's pretty strange. Now, listen, guys. I want to tell you there is still time to do your Christmas shopping at MyPillow.com, where the next governor of Minnesota has some great products. That's Mr. Mike Lindell, who's running against Tim Walz for governor of Minnesota. With our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, the 6-piece premium MyPillow towel sets, 50% off with our promo code Kane. I have those towels, dry all with them every day when I shower. The Giza Dream Sheets, they're 100% Giza cotton, over 50% off. The Giza Dream Sheets, the premium MyPillows, over 50% off. All of this is with our promo code Kane at checkout. The MyPillow mattress toppers. Oh man, I've been sleeping on the MyPillow mattress topper, the 3-inch mattress topper, for years. It will change your life. Huge discount on that. The MyPillow slippers, just $39.98. And you can use our promo code Kane site-wide. The MyPillow My Cross necklaces, 50% off. The same cross that Mike Lindell wears. 50% off the MyPillow mattresses. I've got a MyPillow mattress as well. Just great sales. You can use our promo code Kane site-wide at MyPillow.com. That's Kane at checkout at MyPillow.com. And there's still time to order for Christmas. So go ahead and do that, guys. Callers on hold. You stand by. And when we get back, I'll get to some more from the Pennsylvania rally, which was just a spectacular rally. I was excited. Weren't you guys excited? I miss my Trump rallies. And I will cover each hour until Steve tells me not to. The city of Miami mayor's race, because you could tell that guy. He's like, well, what about? Isn't this going to be the trend for the midterms? No. Oh my goodness! If you're on hold, stand by. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. Our number is toll-free 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the top and be right back.
This is George Colony. I'm in the real estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades. People often ask me, what's the right time to buy or sell real estate? To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You could call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954-801-7320. That's my personal cell phone number. And I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320.
We're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. line. This is Hank from Hollywood. How you doing?
All right, Hank, what's on your mind?
I called Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. He sent out Scott. Now, Scott is absolutely the best. Scott and Scott's crew are the absolute best. They gave me a great price. They did the job when they said they were going to do it. They finished the job when they said they were going to do it. The materials they used, absolutely the best. I want to thank Tom. I definitely want to thank Scott, and definitely want to thank Scott's crew. These people are number one, and I just want your listeners to know, Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. If you need a new roof, call Tom at Tom Laporta Roofing. You're not going to go wrong. You're not going to be disappointed.
Do what Hank did. Call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, laportaroofing.com. Remember the first time the Chartist stores swung open and your world got a little bigger? If you're a fan of the classic days of Doctor Who, the monsters, the mysteries, the wobbly sets, and the endless charm of the Doctor and his companions, then it's time to rediscover it all with The Hoonies, a Doctor Who podcast available on Amazon. Each episode breaks down one episode of Doctor Who, bringing back the nostalgia, the fun, and the magic that made you a fan in the first place. Whether you're a lifelong Whovian or just stepping back into time and space, The Hoonies is your weekly trip through the universe of classic Doctor Who, one episode at a time. Relive the laughs, the lore, and the legacy with The Hoonies, a Doctor Who podcast, now streaming on Spotify. Sometimes the hardest thing to ask for is help. And yet behind closed doors, millions of families are struggling with the basics. The light bill, the rent, the phone that keeps them connected to work and school. Not because they failed, but because life hits hard. That's why there's CloakedCare.com, a first-of-its-kind platform built on dignity, privacy, and real compassion. At CloakedCare.com, people can privately post the essential bills they're fighting to keep up with. Utilities, medical cost, rent, phone, and more. And donors can choose a bill and pay directly toward it, with funds sent straight to the verified service providers. There's no uncertainty, no middlemen, just real help for real needs. CloakedCare.com was founded by Marine Corps veteran Leighton Clybourne and was named the best anonymous bill payment service in the United States for 2025, honoring its transparent and innovative approach to modern giving. At CloakedCare.com, every contribution makes a measurable impact, keeping a home warm, a phone connected, or the lights on during a tough month. It's people helping people quietly, respectfully, transparently. CloakedCare.com. That's CloakedCare. Visit today to ask for help or to be the help someone's been praying for.
All right. We're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Callers on hold, stand by. We've covered a lot. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Greg.
Oh, hey, Greg. How you doing?
Listen, good. Thank you. Listen, I agree with your analysis as far as Miami is a very small section of Florida and even Dade County, and it doesn't represent. They basically don't even, a lot of residents there don't even speak English. I've been to Miami, the city of Miami. It's like living almost in a different country.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so we're in agreement on that, which we agree on a bunch of things.
Well,
and like to Richie, I just said to Richie, you're right. Richie, I don't hate Brian, and I don't think about Brian like, oh, I've had Brian. I just disagree with a lot of your comments that I think are just sometimes just complete BS.
Mm-hmm.
But let me ask you this question, because you take every moment to trash our great governor, the greatest governor in the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis. Do you know, because you don't trust him because he went against Trump. Do you know J.D. Vance, who you love, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know he called Donald Trump?
Of course I know this.
Wait, American Hitler.
Uh-huh.
American Hitler.
Yep.
He called him that.
Mm-hmm.
But you forgive him for that and think he's trustworthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell me how you can like those things can like coexist together. One is I don't trust him. And by the way, do you think Trump is coming up with every idea that presidency.
You're asking a lot of
in
questions. Can we
competition.
talk about the JD and the DeSantis thing?
Yeah, let's hear about JD. Let's go for it. Let's run with it.
A lot of times, people say things before they know someone. And I'll be very specific about DeSantis and JD, but I want to say this. I've mentioned many times, my wife and I met. My wife was a listener of mine on the radio. And we just had our 29th wedding anniversary last week. And she listened to me on the radio for a long time before she met me. And she hated me. In fact, we had a radio station that we were at that got sold. And new management came in and reshuffled the entire air staff. And I was doing a weekend show then, that old 20-something show, my wife. And she told me about this after we met and got married. But they fired a whole bunch of people from that radio station. I got promoted and had my air shift expanded to 6 days a week. And my wife told me she was so ticked off that they got rid of, Rick Siderman and all these other people. And they kept me. She couldn't believe it. She was outraged because she told me, she said, I thought you were an a-hole. Like you and some others in the audience think of me.
No.
Excuse me. And then she started listening to me more, and we met, and we got married, and we've been married almost 30 years, 29 years. So JD did not know the president. Now he does. What Ron DeSantis did was different. Ron DeSantis lied to the people of Florida and to the president. He said he would not run against him. He broke that promise that he made to us when he was running for governor for the second time. And after he won the governor's race, then he started running for president. So he lied to the president, and he lied to us. There's more, Greg. No, this is very important.
Okay, I could see you.
This is very important. This is very important, and I want to get this out. I'm here till 9, okay? So he lied. When President Trump was arrested the first time by that jerk Bragg, right? Remember, he had to fly to New York and surrender himself in New York for the first time. Ron DeSantis could have contested that extradition. He didn't do it. He didn't even go to Mar-a-Lago. Many Republicans, Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of them, many Republicans in Trump's inner circle went to Mar-a-Lago with him. Carrie Lake was one, and flew with him and stood by his side in New York. Ron DeSantis didn't. Thirdly,
can I talk?
When I'm done, and there's a third thing. Right. There's many others, but the third thing is this. Now, he was not involved. I don't believe he was involved in Butler. However, the Never Trumpers that shot President Trump in Butler and tried to do it again at the golf course here in Palm Beach, what their plan is for Butler to turn out differently. Okay, and they were going to nominate Nikki Haley, who as president, who was in second place in the primaries, and have Ron DeSantis as her running mate because he was in third place in the primaries, and make Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis the president and vice president after Butler if it went the other way. So he's doing incredible things as governor. He's doing great things. This property, and I love it, but you can't trust him. I can't trust him.
Well, all right. You just went over a plethora of material, but let me just a couple things. One of them, I love the fact that you included Marjorie Taylor Greene into the conversation because she was with President Trump. Wait, let me talk now, Brian, for at least 30 seconds. She was on the president's plane with him as well. Well, guess where Marjorie Taylor Greene is now? Complete, unadulterated trash. You bring up her as an example. And also, how do you know Ron DeSantis was even invited to go on to the plane trip? He just doesn't show up at Air Force One and say, hey, can I come along? No, you're invited. Maybe he was not invited. You're acting like he shunned an invitation.
Let me tell you, if Carrie Lake or Byron Donalds were our governor, they would have been at the gates of Mar-a-Lago. Okay,
but the last thing
you don't get invited to go to an arrest party. You show up, and then when President Trump toured Alligator Alcatraz with Kristi Noem, DeSantis was there, and in those funny boots, and you could tell things are not right between. It was very uncomfortable. Trump is pissed at DeSantis.
That could be very well so, and that's just the way life goes. But I want to also bring up one interesting fact about J.D. Vance, which you despise people. You think they're evil. He came out. I saw an interview with him. He came out, and when he and his wife met, they were both atheists. both of them, and you would think evil of those people.
He's a Catholic.
So he's
Catholic. J.D. Vance is Catholic.
But he was an atheist.
So what?
Who knows if he did it for
So what?
So what? Have you ever known a couple that's an atheist and all of a sudden both decide to bring God into their lives and Jesus Christ as their savior? Maybe you do it for political purposes. So when you put J.D. Vance
if you're doing it for political purposes, you don't become Catholic. You become Protestant. You don't just, to become, you don't just,
how do you know that?
Because my wife, to become Catholic, I'm Catholic, right? And my wife and I became Catholic, 10-15 years ago, right? It is a process that takes almost a year. You don't just show up at church and accept Jesus and you're a Catholic. You have to go through.
I agree with that.
Excuse me, you asked. You have to go through a class. It's called RCIA. I forgot what the R stands for. Christian Initiation for Adults. I forgot what the R stands for. And you have to go through. It takes 9 months. You go and it's a weekly class, and there's all kinds of other things you've got to go through with the priest. It takes about a year to become a Catholic if you're not a Catholic. If you're doing it for political purposes, you show up at a Protestant church, you walk up and accept Jesus, and it's done. You don't go through a year of a very detailed process to become Catholic like the Vances did. Since you asked.
Maybe he had a polling, listen, but they were atheists, and you think atheists are evil, correct?
They're not atheists now.
No,
They've seen the light.
What are your thoughts on atheists?
I don't associate with atheists. I don't associate with atheists.
Right. And guess what? I've never known an atheist that's turned into a full-blown Catholic, especially, like you said, due to the lengthy process. The fact that him and his wife were atheists when they got married. They didn't get married in a church, by the way, my friend, okay? You could research that.
No, in fact, you'd be wrong. You're wrong. They were married in a Catholic church by a priest, because part of the process, because I went through this with my wife, part of the process when you become a Catholic, and my wife and I were already Christians, and if you go through that whole process, which takes about 9 months, and then you go through. It's brief. It's not like a big to do. You go through a marriage ceremony with your priest, so that you were married in the eyes of the church. So no, they were married by a priest in a Catholic church. I promise you.
Not originally.
Well, either was I. My wife and I eloped. We opened up a phone book. It was so long ago, and called a guy out of the yellow pages, and he came and married us. So what?
That's a beautiful story.
But J.D. Vance and his wife, when they went through Rite of Christian Initiation for Adults, is what the R stands for. It's RCIA. When they went through that almost year-long process, at the end of it, after they had their first communion, and by the way, if you've never been baptized, you've got to be baptized. So they may have even gotten baptized. I didn't have to. My wife didn't have to, because we were previously baptized. We just had to produce the baptismal certificate, even though it was Protestant. But they got baptized. They got married by the priest. It was almost a year-long process. They're not atheist, and they were married by a priest. You've brought up about half a dozen gripes. I've shot them all down, and then you just move on to another gripe.
You didn't because you will justify J.D. Vance's behavior and criticize Ron DeSantis' behavior.
But DeSantis is different. DeSantis is like an adulterer. What DeSantis did is the equivalent of adultery.
Now you're calling the man an adulterer.
No, he betrayed us. He betrayed Trump. No, it's like Marjorie Taylor Greene just did. Marjorie Taylor Greene just betrayed us and Trump.
But you're calling now. You've already said Ron DeSantis, you'll be divorced. You were wrong on that little theory.
I've not been proven wrong yet. We'll see what happens.
Brian, shame on you, an adulterer.
No, I didn't say he is an adulterer. I didn't say he was an adulterer. I said what he did is the equivalent of that. He betrayed Trump.
No, It's not.
It's the equivalent
so
of that.
You're telling me equivalent of going against Trump and deciding to run against him is like cheating on your wife and your two kids. Because what
he did is he knowingly lied to the president to get his endorsements.
You're talking about violating your vows with your wife and your family.
He violated his word. He violated his word.
JJ, but to your wife is the greatest value you'll ever give
No,
to
it's
anybody.
worse. It's a mortal sin. I didn't say he committed adultery. He committed political adultery.
I actually now think you put Trump ahead of your wife.
Keep telling
That's
yourself
what you're
that.
saying.
Keep telling yourself that. Lunatic.
No. And listen, JJ or whoever Richie's already called, maybe let him double dip. They think what you're saying right now is ridiculous, and they'll say, "Oh, Greg is out of control." No, what you just said is going against Trump is like cheating on your wife.
What DeSantis did was a betrayal. Yes, like Benedict Arnold.
Adultery.
Like Marjorie Taylor Greene. All right, take care, Greg. I appreciate the call. I mean, he brought up like half a dozen gripes. I think I explained them all quite well. All right, I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. I was talking to one of our listeners he's now a client of Jupiter Joe Thomas, and he's been retired for many years. He had a civil service job, and he's been retired, 20 years or so, and he has a very good pension. And what he told me was, he says, he told me what he gets every year. I'm not going to share that, but he told me, and he said what I get every year. It's a municipal here in Florida, municipal pension. He says it was good money in '98. you know what I mean? And he says in 2025, it doesn't go as far as it should. And I said, people are living longer. You've outlived the expectation of your pension plan. He said, exactly. So he's now into annuities with Jupiter Joe Thomas, and he's got that monthly income coming in on top of his pension and his Social Security. And he lives high on the hog, this guy, I got to tell you. You wouldn't know it by looking at him, but he lives high on the hog because he's got that extra money coming in now. Now he can live the life that he wants to live in his retirement. Give Jupiter Joe Thomas a call. Take advantage of his no-charge consultation. And now, again, you can go to his office in person in Jupiter if you'd like. But you don't have to. You can call him no matter where you're located, and you can have your no-charge consultation over the phone or through Zoom. And Joe Thomas will put together a custom proposal for you based on your situation and your goals. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed his number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back. Boy, oh boy, these people. We'll be right back.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch of bank account, savings, and a house and a car for my two daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular will, things would get tied up in probate, and that would take 2 years. So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything. And I ended up with this wonderful trust for my two daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them. And it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my two daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney, Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my two daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At LaPorta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Have you ever walked into a room and wished the walls could say something? Something warm, something inspiring, and something uniquely you. At seaofglasseternalart.etsy.com, created by artist Shelly Ann, you'll find artwork that does exactly that. Shelly Ann creates charming, eclectic pieces that blend vintage styles and playful details. It's artwork designed to inspire, delight, and bring lasting warmth to your home or office. Whether you love bold color, soft nostalgia, or something beautifully offbeat, there's a piece waiting for you at seaofglasseternalart.etsy.com. These are the kind of pieces that become cherished keepsakes, perfect for birthdays, holidays, housewarming, or just because moments. You can even order many already framed and ready to hang the moment they arrive. So why settle for blank walls when you can fill your space with joy, personality, and art that speaks to you? Go right now to seaofglasseternalart.etsy.com.
All right, stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. You notice with the Democrat callers, Greg 2 that just called in. You know, people want. By the way, sometimes people say, "Why are you calling Greg 2?" We used to have this another Greg that called. That's all I'll say. I don't want to get into the other Greg. Oh my goodness, Greg 1. But anyway, you heard it with Greg 2 or that other guy with the Miami mayor's race. Democrats only feel good if they can make us feel bad. It's really a negative. They're poison people, you know. And one thing I've learned in my life is that when there are poison people in your life, unless they're family and you got to put up with it, cut them out of your life. You know, you don't want poison people around. They're just miserable. And when you hear these liberals, if we're losing, if Trump is losing popularity, why are they so miserable? And this map, I made this map of Dade County because I wanted to show it to people. It's on my X, Brian Craig Show. I show Miami-Dade County. It's all in red except the city of Miami. And the first one I did was the entire state of Florida, and I made it where the city of Miami was blue and the rest of Florida was red. I couldn't even see it. I thought I made a mistake, and you'd have to have a microscope because the city of Miami is so small. But as soon as I told that one guy what was going on, he hung up. He didn't want to hear it. And then Greg, who hates me like the plague, even agreed with me about the city of Miami. But liberals are just, and there was a guy that called in the other day that was griping about the show. I don't like the show. I like the way it used to be before you had millions of listeners every month and week and all that stuff. And remember that miserable guy called the other day? Liberals are just in a rage all the time. All the time. And all they do is to try to make you feel bad. Every single liberal. It's not going to happen. If Trump were not winning, if the midterms were so dire for us, they would be happy. And I've been doing this for so long, and I've seen the changes in the callers over the years. Liberals have always been miserable, but now it's desperation from the left. I hear desperation with these callers, don't you? And I point this out often. It's been so long since when liberals are winning, when Democrats are winning, They don't call in angry trying to catch us on something. They call in and laugh at us. Right? And if you heard, there's this new trend with liberal callers. I've noticed it over the last year, but in the last few months, it's becoming more and more common. The liberals that call, all of them, they don't want to have a discussion about anything. They all have a question they want to ask. And then it's a question to try to, they ask a question that they think is going to make us or Trump or MAGA look bad and make them look good and feel good. I answer it, and then they go to the next one. Like with Greg too there, I don't know, he had this question he thought was brilliant. I gave him an answer. I shot it down. He must have asked me 6 dozen questions. Each one, boom, I just filleted right after the other. And then he'd still be on there asking me questions if I let him. And you hear this with other liberal callers. They all have a question. I blow it out of the water, and then they got another question, then another, and it becomes like they're trying to interview me. But what it really is, it's not that they're trying to interview me. They're trying to find one thing that they can grab onto and feel good about. That's what it is. And you know what? It's not going to happen because we, my friends, are winning. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. My name is Brian Craig, and I can't believe it's been almost a year since I first met Dr. Zuckerman at Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Remember, I met Dr. Zuckerman at Coastal Weight Loss Secret at his office in person, inauguration day. Because I went right from Coastal Weight Loss Secret to Wings Plus, and we had the inauguration day. And I started a week later because the next morning I flew to California to visit my daughter in Los Angeles. And I told Dr. Zuckerman, I said, I love the food in LA and I'm going to eat like crazy. He said, no problem. Start when you're back. I said Monday. He said, start Monday. So I did. And when I got back, I started Coastal Weight Loss Secret, lost 25 pounds in 3 weeks, lost over 35 pounds totally. But I started seeing pictures that those of you that came to the inauguration day party at Wings Plus took with me. And we had a big turnout at Wings Plus. It was standing room only. We had multiple seatings of people there. We were sitting with, I sat with some friends that are listeners that go on the cruise, Rob and Lay. And when I got there, though, Rob and Lay were sitting with this old guy, and I thought it was like Rob's grandfather or something. It wasn't. He was just another listener who hated me like the plague who confronted me later at the thing. But I look at those photographs you guys took with me at Wings Plus on Inauguration Day, and I was embarrassed at how I looked, and I look great now. But I hope you all delete those from your phones. I don't look like that now. Those are not pictures with me. Those are photographs with another person. And I really had gained a lot of weight, especially in my face, my stomach. And not only did I lose all this weight, I've got a flat stomach. I've got my bone structure back. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret, okay? And schedule your no-charge consultation, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300, and online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back. Boy, oh boy, I tell you. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll go to the phones after the break. Okay, who else do we gotta do? Okay. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. If you're on hold, stand by. boy. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'll go to the calls when we get back. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. Stand by, guys. About 30 seconds, we'll be back. If you're watching with the green wall behind me, if you go to my main live stream, you can see and hear all the video and the images I show. You get the green screen effects. The link to my main live stream on YouTube is in the description. Oh, boy. We are back. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Call us on hold. Stand by. Our number, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Mark from New York. How you doing today?
All right, Mark. What's up?
Hey, forgive me if anyone's mentioned this because I've been on hold for a minute, but I think the reason anyone cares about the Miami race is because Donald Trump endorsed the Republican, right?
Not really.
You haven't really mentioned it. He did. He
No,
tweeted about
not
it.
really. He tweeted about it. Did he? I missed the rally.
He still endorsed him. I mean, that's regardless of whether he
Whatever.
got out on speech
He
and
didn't.
talked
He
about
didn't.
himself
He
for
didn't.
45
No.
minutes first.
Talked about himself.
Are you kidding me? Have you ever listened to his rally?
Yeah, last
45% of the time he talks about himself.
No, he's talking.
He talks about himself in the third person like a narcissist.
He's talking
He's a
about.
narcissist.
Excuse me. He's talking about the great accomplishments from his second administration.
Okay, yeah, great accomplishment. Yeah, he's doing great. Starting
Do you
a
know?
war,
Do you
no
know?
new wars.
Do you
Remember
know
that slogan?
Do you know the DEA released a statement? This is an accomplishment of President Trump's second administration that's not getting a lot of play. The DEA released a statement yesterday. They've done some fentanyl seizures lately, and they reported that the fentanyl is not as potent. It's a lot less potent, and they got very specific about it. They said that they've shut down. President Trump has gotten China to stop manufacturing the garbage. They've shut down the importation to South America of the chemicals used to manufacture fentanyl. And the fentanyl that's out on the streets right now that's new isn't even enough to get people high. That's a great accomplishment of President Trump's, isn't it?
I don't know if he had anything to do with it, but
yeah. Part of the trade negotiations with China was about the fentanyl. What new war has he started?
You talked about Venezuela. Are you down?
Excuse me.
You not listen to yourself?
How old are you?
I'm 40 years old.
Okay.
And
okay.
I know a little bit more about this.
What you're talking about is with Venezuela and the drug boats is the war on drugs. The war on drugs was started by President Reagan. during the Just Say No campaign.
Oh my gosh! You just talked about how we might be, we're flying into Venezuelan airspace.
This is not a new war.
For what?
This is not a new war.
Oh no! It is.
It's not. The war on drugs. The war on drugs is new. The war on drugs is new.
Oh my gosh!
Are
you? Oh man, the mental gymnastics you go through. You must be very flexible.
Yeah,
you must be.
Not really. Not really.
If this was Biden doing this, you would be.
But Biden wouldn't do it. Biden is a family of junkies. They don't want to stop illegal drugs coming in. They're using them.
Okay.
So let me get this straight. Hold on a second here. I'm very confused by you. President Trump stopping illegal drugs coming into the country is a problem for you. But Joe Biden having illegal drugs in the West Wing, the cocaine they found in a junkie family, that's not a problem for you.
I didn't say it wasn't. I'm saying that we're starting a new war. Even though
are you for real?
No new wars.
Are you trolling? Are you just playing devil's advocate? You can't be this stupid.
Really? You're the one who's
okay, you are this stupid. Okay.
Trump is, but we're going to start a new war.
It's not a new war. It's not a new war. We're saving Americans.
Okay.
We're saving.
So if we go to war with China, it's not a new war.
We're not going to war with China. We're not going to war with China.
I'm saying if we did, that's what your capitulation
We're not going to war.
No,
excuse me. We're not going to war against Venezuela. The war on drugs against the cartels is continuing, but they're based out of Venezuela.
Oh, I got you. So if it's based out of Cuba, we'll go to Cuba next, and then
no, we're not going to Cuba.
Where do we keep going? We just keep following them.
We're not going to
Colombia
Cuba
next, and then
well, if the cartels are in Colombia, we'll go there too. Yes, that's part of the war on drugs, which started in the 80s.
What about the cartels in Mexico? They bring in way more than Venezuela.
We might do. There might be strikes there too.
We don't care about them.
There may be strikes there too.
Oh my gosh. Let's just I'm not for drugs. Let's put it that way.
Sounds like it to me.
I think we need to stop the drugs, but I don't think we need to send American troops in there to do that.
Joe Biden wouldn't even stop his own family from doing drugs.
I don't know if you want to keep talking about like the president's kids. I don't know how that has.
The president's Donald Trump. I'm not talking about Donald Trump. He's the president.
But you're talking about Biden when he was president.
They found cocaine. They found cocaine in the White House past the security perimeters. Only a family member could get coke in.
No, but a family member wouldn't go in through that entrance. I don't understand how daft are you.
Have you ever visited the White House?
No, I have read reports.
I read reports.
Well,
I have. You have to go unless you're part of the first family. Okay, unless you're part of the first family, or maybe the vice president. Okay, you have to go through multiple layers of security that include dogs that smell for bombs, explosives, guns, and drugs. The only people that can get through the drug sniffing dogs are family members or the president or vice president.
It was found in a public. You should look.
It was not a public area. No, the West Wing offices are not public. Tourists don't go there. No.
It wasn't in an office. It wasn't in an office.
It was in
a place where tour groups go.
It was not. It was outside the Situation Room. No, tourists don't go to the Situation Room. No. And tourists don't get in with coke.
It's hard to argue with an idiot. It's hard to argue with an idiot. It's impossible to argue with a conservative.
Well, if I'm an idiot, you've just lost an argument to an idiot. Yeah. So you must be even a bigger idiot.
You're a conservative.
Yes.
That's what I said. You guys always lie.
Why is a grown man a Democrat? Are you straight?
Because I don't. Yes, I'm straight. I'm married. I got children.
Okay.
I don't like Donald Trump. Before Donald Trump, I was a Republican.
Even though he's saving lives.
But I cannot stand Donald Trump's narcissism. I don't understand how a man who on live television said he would have dated his own daughter.
He didn't say
if they weren't related.
He didn't say that.
He did. You can look it up. Your audience can look it up.
You didn't say.
He said that on
It is a
live
common.
television.
It is a common.
If Ivanka wasn't my daughter.
You're
if
a
Ivanka wasn't my
sick
daughter,
man. You're a
some say
sick
I would have
man.
dated her by now.
So you were a
No,
Republican.
he's sick.
You were.
But you're sick too because you love him.
You were a
You love
Republican
this guy.
before Trump, so his big beautiful bill's not good.
No. Are you kidding me?
What kind of Republican are you?
Let's get rid of health care. Let's get rid of health care.
He
Let's
didn't get rid of
health care for people.
He
Because,
didn't get rid of health care.
okay. He exploded premiums because of his ego. And you're totally okay with that.
But how could you say
because
you're?
you don't
excuse
care
me.
about people.
The big beautiful bill is the largest tax cut in history that this country has ever had. And
for
you
rich people, 4 million billionaires. Are you a billionaire?
Millionaires get tips. No tax on tips. That's millionaires work for tips. Millionaires and billionaires work for tips.
Okay, but who got the biggest
Overtime?
cut?
No tax
Be
on.
honest.
No,
And that's
excuse
not a
me.
tax cut.
No
That's
tax.
not a tax
No
cut.
tax on overtime. The millionaires and billionaires
That's
get
not a
paid
tax
overtime.
cut.
What a stupid idiot! Oh my goodness. Are you in pain? Then go see Dr. Philip Appleton and talk to him about his laser away pain treatment. It's absolutely amazing, the laser away pain treatment. I think about what my life would be like without Dr. Appleton. I was talking the other day. We put lights up around the house. I'm up on the ladder. I'm hanging lights up on the gutters around the house and everything. Before Dr. Appleton rid me of my shoulder pain, I wouldn't have been able to do it because I wouldn't have been able to lift my arms up over my head to put the lights around the house. And it was amazing. It was just totally effortless to do it. You get your life back. But one of the things about Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain treatment, now that he's rid me of pain 7 times from injuries, or aging, car accidents, all that stuff, I'm a lot less tired. The pains I had just made me want to go to sleep. I mean, anytime I do an appearance, I meet listeners, whether it's the cruise or anywhere. I run into listeners out in public, and they all come up to me telling me about Dr. Appleton. It's always the same way, too. Guy came up to me a couple weeks ago. I'm at Friendly Tire. He's walking up to me. He's got his hand on his back. And I knew right then he was going to tell me about Dr. Appleton. But I let him tell me first. Dr. Appleton rid him of years of suffering from back pain. It's amazing. Give Dr. Appleton a call. The consultation is free. All right, so take advantage of that. Let Dr. Appleton tell you what the robotic laser can do for you. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. If you have scans or x-rays, bring them. Dr. Appleton will gladly look them over. His number is 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710 and online, AppletonCairo.com. Call us on hold, stand by. Back after this.
morning.
Hey, George, it's Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, I'm going to put you on hold. We got about 2 minutes, and when you hear me next time, we'll be on the air.
Fine.
All right, stand by. George Colony. And Steve will be with us after the top. I wonder how long Greg 2 thought of that atheist crap with JD. The brain's missing from some of these callers, no doubt. No doubt. We got about 90 seconds. A little more than a minute, we'll be back. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys. And remember, if you're watching with the green wall behind me, if you go to my main live stream, you get the green screen effects, okay? You get to see and hear all the video, the images I show. And the direct link to my main YouTube live stream is in the description of the video, guys. Okay, 1 minute, we'll be back. $30 seconds. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll go back to the calls. And if you want to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat. All right, and we're back. I'm Brian. It's time to check in with George Colony. George, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. You know, I've been hearing very good things from our listeners about you, so that's always good to hear. Absolutely. You know, I wanted to talk to you today about something pretty specific because, you know, this is a great time and the right time and the perfect time for people to list their home for sale. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. You know, if you think back and you look at the date today, 3 months ago was 9/11. Think how fast that time went. In the same time, if you look forward until February, March, when the president gets to change the Fed chair, interest rates come down, the economy is going to boom, the confidence is going to be very, very just thriving. And we're sitting in a period of time that if we're going to want to sell our home, there are a lot of people coming from the north and they want to buy. As long as we're realistic, we can make this happen, and it's a good time. But think about it. It's not only selling your home, it's what are the prices today and the opportunities today. If we're able to negotiate good deals for you to move into your next home, you're going to get a great deal on your next home. So it is a phenomenal time to consider this, and I hope your people give me a call. I've been talking to a lot of your listeners, and very interesting. They're smart, I can tell you that. This evening, I'm having dinner with 6 people, influential people, that are coming here because we're going to try to buy these buildings that are currently rentals and convert them so people can own the unit rather than rent it. If you think about it, when you pay rent, you get your paycheck, and then you pay your rent after you've paid taxes. When you own, you're actually paying your payment on your home prior to the fact that they take taxes out of you. So you're really getting the government to share in your cost because of the deductibility of home ownership. If people are out there thinking about selling their home right now, give me a call. I'm telling you something. It can be life-changing for you. You know, the people I've talked to and the reaction I'm getting from your show is phenomenal. So I appreciate you, what you've done.
Well, I tell you, and I really have been hearing very good things from our listeners, and that's good to hear. And with George Colony, what you're talking about here, see, this is what you get when you're working with George Colony. You're not just thinking about, okay, let me get this listing and sell your home. You're already thinking ahead about the next home, because when you sell your home, you need a place to live. So you're already to that second step. It's basically what you're telling us, George Colony. It's the perfect storm of opportunity to list and sell your home for good money to these Northerners that are coming down, but also get yourself into your next home because you need a place to move to.
Without sounding egotistical, I got 63 years of business, and my forte would be negotiating. So the thing that I can do today for you is I can negotiate a really good opportunity for you to sell and an opportunity for you to buy. And that's not egotistical. It's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing what I do, and I'm so glad that I got involved with Brian.
Okay, well, listen, give George Colony a call. Remember, this number rings directly to George. You can call or text. His number is 954-801-7320. 954-801-7320. That's 954-801-7320. All right, George Colony, we'll talk soon.
Holidays are coming. Happy and healthy to everybody.
Absolutely. Take care. All right, guys, give him a call. And those of you that have been calling him, thanks so much. I appreciate you supporting our sponsors here on the Steve Kane Show. All right, let's go. You're on the air.
Give George Colony a call. Remember, this number rings.
There's
Hello?
Yeah, you're listening to my favorite show in the background. That's my favorite show you got on.
I am listening to my favorite show, Brian. Good morning.
Hey.
It's Jessica from West Palm Beach.
Hey, Jessica.
I have so many things to say that I don't even know where to begin. But let's begin with the Miami elections. The city of Miami that city that this woman won the election has 400,000 people living in that city.
Correct.
So that's not a small amount of people. It's a lot of people. Now, only 37,000 of those 440,000 went out to vote.
Mm-hmm.
That tells us that 99 or 95% of those people that live there are registered Republican, and most of them, if not all, are Cubans and Venezuelans, and part of it are Haitians. The Cubans and Venezuelans, we all know that are Republicans. So why did she win? Let me tell you why she won. She had a very, very good political strategy and machinery behind her. Do you know that she's friends with Mandani in New York? She is friends with Mandani for a very long time, and she loves Fidel Castro. There was an interview with this lady a few years ago where she was asked why did she go to Cuba and what she thought about Fidel Castro. Her response was that she admired Fidel Castro. So a lot of people don't know.
Who the hell admires Castro? Who admires Castro?
She does.
A communist.
She does. She's a full communist.
And let me add something to what you said, okay? The city of Miami, this was not Miami-Dade County. The city of Miami, which is a tiny little town in Miami-Dade County. There's over 400,000 people there. 37,000 voted, but she only got 22,000 votes. 22,000 out of over 400,000. So
what's the percentage of the 37,000 out of 440? She won with maybe 10% of the vote.
I don't know yet. No, 20. She only got 22,000 votes. So I'm not good with the math, but I don't know, 5%, around about 5-6%.
What I mean,
yeah.
Right. It's nothing. But she knew. Brian, they knew that this was going to happen, and they got prepared for that.
Yes.
So what does that tell us? That they have a very good political machinery behind them. They're prepared to do it. They only win in runoff elections. Democrats only win because they know that people are not paying attention. They know that people are busy. It's Christmas. You know, it's almost, you know, the holidays, and they know that a lot of these Cubans, which are very elderly, they know that they're not going to get out there and vote, and this is why she won. This is why she won.
No,
I mean,
no, you're exactly right. And what I was talking about, or by the way, I didn't catch your first name when you called in because you had me on in the background. What's your name?
Jessica.
Oh, Jessica. I'm sorry, Jessica. The other thing I was pointing out, and I put together, I was showing everybody on YouTube a map of Miami-Dade County, all red except for the city of Miami. 83% of the residents of Miami live elsewhere. They don't live in the city of Miami. And the media are trying to promote this false narrative that Florida has fallen, that DeSantis and Trump were bragging that they flipped Miami. Miami is still MAGA red. This has not changed.
Yeah.
And those of us that are South Floridians know how tiny the city of Miami is. A little tiny little thing. It's like Tamarack.
Yeah. Yeah, we know. I mean, we Floridians know, but you know, it's difficult to combat this media, the lies of the media. You know what happened? I was trying this morning to research about the total votes for this women, and I couldn't find it because everything is BBC, CNN, Politico.
Yeah, they don't want to tell you.
Liberal media.
They don't want to tell you. It's in. I found it. It's in the Hill. I put it on X. She got 22,000 votes out of over 400,000 people. So I'm not good with the math, but that's around 5%, around about maybe a point up.
5%.
5%.
That's nothing.
No,
that's nothing.
Two weeks before
nothing,
Christmas.
Brian.
2 weeks before Christmas.
Yeah, and they knew that this was going to happen. I mean, a lot of Cubans in Miami. I have a lot of family in Miami, but a lot of Cubans in Miami that live in that city, they know who she is. They know that she loves Castro. They know because, you know, there's a lot of Cuban radio station in Spanish that, you know, they're very Republican. They have alerted people about this woman. But guess what happens? A lot of these people are elderly. They need people to get them out to vote. So they just stay home, and she won. That's how Democrats win. By lying.
Yes.
By, you know, investing money. You know what she did? She got about 3,000 people, and they went out there and registered new voters.
Yeah.
Because she knew it was the only way that she could win. Now, what is the Republican Party going to do against these people?
Yeah.
I mean, they need to plan. And they need to plan now.
Yes.
They need to plan now. They need to plan a strategy.
All right. Well,
I'm
listen,
telling you,
I
if
appreciate your call. You made some good points. I'm running out of time for the hour, but thanks so much, Jessica.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take
Have a
care.
nice.
You too. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is John. I'm from South Carolina. That last, Jessica, I think, was the last speaker.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just a little confused. You know, I watch your show pretty often. You always criticize people that have accents that are from other countries.
Nope.
I feel you missed the note. I feel you missed the mark just now with her.
No, she's Cuban. She's Cuban.
Her opinion shouldn't matter because she's not American.
No, she's an American. She's Cuban American.
But she has an accent.
Yeah. I recognized her accent because I live in South Florida. I didn't have to ask her what her accent was from. I could tell it's Cuban.
That's not the point. Her accent is not American, so you should criticize
No,
her.
her accent is a
based on her
Cuban American.
accent.
She has a Cuban American accent. A lot of people in Miami have it.
I know. So now people can be American and have accents as well?
Sure.
So you made that point clear
Yes.
multiple times.
Melania Trump has an accent. She's American. Oh, my goodness, these people. It's 8 o'clock. We'll be right back. Gee whiz. Oh, my goodness. Never said you can't be an American if you have an accent. Oh my goodness, I can't find what I need. is. Okay.
Okay, here we go. You're on.
Steve, you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
All right. We have a couple minutes still. Hold on. Let me check the time.
You got anything, I hope?
I've got a million things. I've only just, yeah.
All right.
I'll then put you on hold. We've got a little more than 2 minutes. I'll be right back to you. Hold on.
All right, take the lead.
Oh, my goodness. Less than 2 minutes, we'll be back. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here.
All right, got 1 minute.
Okay. Exciting.
Yeah. Have you been listening?
No, as a matter of fact, I've been trying to wake up for the last hour.
All right. Greg, too, just had a freak out. It's just bizarro land. And this other caller a few minutes ago from New York, you missed some good stuff.
Okay, it's Greg, too. Is he the guy that I don't like? The boring one?
No. Don't say his name. Everybody can hear you. I don't want to alienate that nice man that I like. That's one of our callers. Steve does not like on the air. That I like.
Make that clear. It's nothing personal.
Just
puts me to sleep.
I like, but I like them. It's not Richie. No, it's not Richie. You guys can guess in the chat. All right, here we go.
Richie's good. Usually. He had an off day yesterday, but he's usually good.
All right, the 8 o'clock hour has begun. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. So much is happening. If you're on hold, stand by. You know, it's December, and it's an important month, but it's also can be some sad months, too. More people die from heart attacks during the last week of December than at any other time of the year. Did you know that Christmas Day and New Year's Day are the most deadly and dangerous? And by the way, that's not me saying that. That's the American Heart Association. It's the deadliest time of year. It's
because everybody's in a state of tension.
Yeah.
And anxiety and rushing for the holidays and
that's
trying
right.
to get everything done.
That's right. But you know what? Life Imaging FLA, they're all about proactive health care. And, you know, one of our listeners called me the other day. He went in and got the free heart scan, and they found something. And he went to his doctor, and his doctor got him on a medication. He had no symptoms, but he had a problem. But now he's okay, thanks to Life Imaging FLA. Life Imaging FLA offers free heart scans with just a few minimum requirements, valued at $699. While you're there, make sure to ask about their full-body cancer screening so you get that ultimate peace of mind. I had the cancer screening too, Steve, no cancer. Life Imaging FLA, they are all about proactive health care, saving lives before symptoms even appear. This December, give yourself the gift of health and schedule your scan today. Enjoy the holidays with confidence. And by the way, if you've got a husband, a wife, a son, a daughter, an aunt, an uncle, a grandfather, a grandmother, and you think they need to be checked out, take them over to Life Imaging FLA. They have locations in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach. From your cell phone, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250 from your cell phone. Say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. Again, pick up your cell phone and dial pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. All right, Steve, so much is going on.
Pick the most exciting thing and we'll dive in with both feet.
It's all exciting. It's all exciting. I will say this. The Democrats that have called in on the program, there's a new category of sponsor we need on the Steve Kane Show. We need a brain doctor, because a lot of our callers, or maybe a private investigator, because these callers have lost their minds, okay? Maybe a PI could find their brains. The liberal callers, something has happened, and the liberal media are trying to pass on a false narrative, and I began the show by pointing something out, and it's caused a meltdown among our liberals. And I'll tell you what that is first, then we'll get into the Trump rally last night in Pennsylvania, which was amazing.
Which I did see.
You know, I was watching online, Right Side Broadcasting. I was watching, they're there, whenever there's a Trump rally, Right Side Broadcasting is there, and they're there all day, right? And they interview people at every rally in line all day long. Steve, the weather, oh my goodness, it brought back nightmares of when I lived in Ohio. You know, Ohio's right next to Pennsylvania, and you're from New York, Steve. The winters suck, and I forgot about the winters. You know, I'm wearing a t-shirt. Steve, there was snow. They had the snow was shoveled to make way for the lines. People were in line all day, surrounded by snow and ice, and it was the worst kind of winter day that I remember. It's when you've got the ice, the ground is filled with snow, it's windy and it's freezing, but then it's raining. Oh my goodness. And these people stood out there all day in the rain, hail, sleet, and the snow, like a mailman's supposed to do, just to see Trump speak for an hour and 40 minutes. And they were out in that all day. It was rough. It was like they were in line in Siberia. We're so spoiled in Florida, aren't we? I mean, we live in the tropics. We got a great thing. It was a great speech. But I brought up something that I didn't think, I felt hold on a second, I'm going to answer all these phones. Okay, are you back with me, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. I brought up something at the top of the show that I felt a moral and professional obligation to comment on, and I didn't realize it would trigger our Democrats in the audience the way it did. And you missed the earlier part of the show, unfortunately, but I'll just tell you about it. What liberals, they're in a desperation mode right now, right?
They're hysterical.
Yeah, and they're looking for they're like a man on a ledge. You ever see Titanic, the James Cameron Titanic? The ship is bobbing in the water, and there's all these people hanging on to the back of the boat. They know they're dead, but they got the hope. They're on the back of the boat. They're like a man on the back. They're people that Democrats are like the guy hanging on at the back of the Titanic as it's going down. They know they're done, but so they're always looking to grab onto something to feel good.
Life preserver.
So the last couple of days, the media, Fox News has even been doing this. They've been covering this mayoral race in the city of Miami. And I was telling people long ago, one of the things you told me is don't talk about municipal elections. Nobody cares except the people that live in that city. And even most of them don't care, right? But they've been doing all this coverage of the mayoral race in the city of Miami. And this Democrat idiot won. And we haven't talked about it because who cares, right? So I'm doing my show prep this morning, and the fake news media are reporting that Miami has flipped. It's no longer red. You know, DeSantis and Trump said they flipped Miami. It's back to blue. And they're starting this false narrative that Florida is now a battleground state, that it's in play again. when President Trump and Governor DeSantis talk about turning Miami red, they're not talking about the city of Miami. They're talking about Miami-Dade County, okay? The city of Miami, it's not even Miami Beach. The city of Miami is a tiny little speck in Miami-Dade County, okay?
Right.
The woman that won got 22,000 votes. It's a tiny little city, right? And when we talk about Miami, we're not talking about the city of Miami. Miami is still MAGA red. Florida is not a battleground state. But so I've been getting calls from these deranged Democrats today who thought that Florida had flipped blue. And they were all excited. And they've been calling in at different levels of derangement over this truth that they don't want shared, that Miami did not flip blue, that Miami may even be redder today than it was yesterday because the city of Miami had a mayoral's race. I mean, Steve, we might as well talk about the mayoral's race in the city of Tamarack, Coconut Creek, or where you live, Cooper City, right? I mean, it's like talking about Cooper City's mayor's race. It's
That's accurate.
You know, and these Democrats that have been calling, they just don't want to hear it. And, you know, because they you know, if those of us that are in South Florida know the city of Miami versus Miami is the county. Although I still call it Dade County, right? All right, you want to take some calls or what do you want to do?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll take a call or two before we break, all right? Let's go. Steve Kane, of course, is here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Dennis, Palm Beach Gardens.
Hey, what's up?
Well, if you're so unconcerned about Miami not being red,
why am I talking about it?
Trump's turning everybody red. I mean blue.
Really?
He's so bad, and everyone is starting to realize that everything he says, he's the one who's saying fake news.
Really?
He rarely says anything that's accurate or true.
He's turning everyone blue? Has he turned you blue, Steve? Has Trump turned you blue?
Not me.
Well, except for you two guys.
Well, then it's not everybody.
Don't care
then it's
what
not
he
everybody.
says or what he does. Well, it's 99% of America. Let's
Really, 99%? What about these people that waited in the sleet, hail, and snow yesterday all day to see him in Pennsylvania?
Well, there's still a few idiots left in the world. They're probably a third of the country's MAGA, and they're like you. They're not going to change no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But everything he says is he complains about the fake news.
So I can
and
tell.
He's the biggest fake news person.
I can tell by your voice you're an older man. You're retired?
76. I'm retired.
Okay.
And I'm very well off. So.
Oh, well, excuse me. Oh, I didn't know I was talking to a well-off person. Well, excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Well, so the things don't affect me.
So let me get this straight.
It affects everybody
Excuse
else.
me. It does affect you because, of course, are you telling me that you're not going to take any of the Trump tax cuts from the big beautiful bill?
I pay my taxes. I give.
Okay,
my
so you're
going
to take. Okay, so you're going to. Okay, so you're going to take
and they're
all the Trump tax
the
cuts.
Tax cuts from 17 to 2020.
No,
me,
excuse me, they are different. First off, the Trump tax cuts were going to expire. He made most of them permanent. People on Social Security are going to get a massive deduction this year that they never got before. Okay.
No, I'm not getting one.
Yeah, you are. You just don't know it yet. Is your wife still
No, I'm
alive, or did she leave you? What's going? Do you have a
Yeah,
wife?
no, she's still alive. But
Okay, you're both going to get a big deduction.
I'll pay the same.
No, you won't. You're going to get a big Social Security deduction, both you and your wife, because of Trump. It's in the big beautiful bill.
Well, let me tell you something.
So that's
else.
something he's
We have
done.
one major problem in this country. Just a minute. We have one major problem, and it sure isn't the balance of trade deficit. It's the deficit and the debt. And he's doing nothing to address that. We're still going to have a giant deficit this year, and the debt is just going to grow.
No,
and
he's
grow
putting.
and grow.
He's putting
And
the.
if you notice,
I'll give you an example. Hold on, slow down. You brought up the tariffs. I mentioned this to a caller, but I'll give you some more detail earlier. But I'll give you some more detail. The drug and you say he's done nothing good. The Drug Enforcement Agency.
No, I didn't say that.
Excuse me.
He did one good thing.
He's done a lot of good things. The Drug Enforcement, and this is about tariffs. The Drug Enforcement Agency made an announcement today, or yesterday, that is, that in fentanyl that they're currently seizing, it is much less potent. In fact, it has so little potency to it. Most fentanyl addicts won't even get high off of it. And it's because of the tariffs. President Trump and the tariff deal with China got them to cut off all the chemicals that are used to make fentanyl. So people aren't getting fentanyl like they were because of the trade negotiations with China. Don't you support that?
I actually support blowing up these boats. I'm not crazy about it, but I support it. But if you also notice, China said yesterday that their trade deficit hit the highest, went over $1 trillion for the first time. They had a trade surplus of over $1 trillion. So his tariffs have no effect on China. They're
Sure.
doing
In
just
fact,
fine.
next
But
year,
it's costing American people a lot of money.
Really,
The
next
tariffs are
next
paid by
year,
Americans. They're
next
not paid
year,
by other countries.
all of us are going to get $2,000 each next year from
And
the
if
tariffs.
you believe that, I'll sell you a bridge in Brooklyn.
Well, you can't sell what you don't
That's
own.
a preposterous proposal.
What do you mean? No, he
it's never
said
gonna
it.
happen, and
He
you
said
know
it. He said it multiple times.
He says all kinds of stuff. He said affordability is a Democratic hoax.
It is.
It's not a Democratic
It is.
hoax.
It
it's
is.
a problem.
Yesterday,
it's not a hoax at all. It's
yesterday
a real
I got
problem.
gas. I got gas. I filled up my wife's car for less than
Gas
$30.
is down. Wonderful.
Well, it's down. Yeah. Which drives the price of
but
everything.
You know one of the reasons gas is down?
Because he's
Gas
drill,
is down
baby,
because
drill.
Demand is down.
So all we've done is come up with things Trump's done that you
How much
approve
gas-
of.
How much oil are we producing? How much oil are we producing a day now versus when Biden was in office? Do you know?
Yesterday, Stephen Miller was on Fox last night. He says we're producing more oil than we ever have.
Did he ever say how much? Because under Biden, we were also producing record.
No, we're
amounts of oil.
promoting. Well,
We were
we've
producing
broken
13
whatever
million
that
barrels a
record.
day.
Whatever that record was, it's been broken. Hey, listen, I got to run for a break. As a well-off man, you'll understand profit-taking moments. All right.
Yeah,
I hope so.
All right.
All right. Take care. He couldn't think of anything Trump's done that he doesn't approve of. It. We went through a whole list of things that he likes. Is he sure he hates Trump? All right. Let's break. We'll be back. I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. Hold on. See, that's the map, guys. I've been showing this. The line here, this is Miami-Dade County, and the blue is the city of Miami, where they had the race. It's all red still. Okay.
Hello?
Hey, Barry, it's Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, we've got about a little more than 30 seconds, okay? And I'm going to
Okay.
keep you. I'm going to conference Steve in, and then we'll be there. Okay, hold on. All right, Steve, you there?
Or
Steve, stand by. We got 30 seconds.
okay.
And we got Barry's with us here. Okay, stand by.
Good morning.
Stand by. Oh, my goodness. All right, it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, you know, here we are. It's holidays for everybody, right? The Jewish holidays, Christmas, New Year's. This is really a time people are thinking about family.
Tis that time of year.
Yeah. Well, good morning, gentlemen. Absolutely. It's that time of the year, and that's you read my mind because I was going to talk about that this morning. Really about the whole point that here we are with just about 3 weeks left in the year. And if you haven't taken care of your New Year's resolutions yet, you've got 3 weeks left to do it for 2025. And then what happens? The cycle starts all over. You make your resolutions for 26. And do you really want those to continue on and then be having the same conversation in 2027? So one of the New Year's resolutions that tends to be something that people put on their list is getting their estate planning done for the first time or updated. And for many reasons, it ends up getting moved down the list towards the bottom. And for lots of reasons. People are busy. There's a lot of things that are more important, like where you're going to have dinner tonight or what vacation you're going to take and things like that. But it's also just also because we're dealing with end of life and disability issues, and you have to go to a lawyer, and who wants to see a lawyer, and all of those kinds of things might detract people from following through on their New Year's resolution of getting their estate plan done, protecting their family, getting the peace of mind. So here's your opportunity. Call us, schedule your free consultation, come in. Let's just get it done. Let's put check next to that New Year's resolution for 2025 so you could start fresh with something new in 2026.
And I'll tell you, taking care of this for your family, it's really a great holiday gift. And it really is, because you're not just saving your family headache when you pass, you're also saving them a lot of hassle and dealing with probate. It could how long can a probate take in Florida?
I'd say like a full administration could be anywhere from about 9 months to a couple of years on the long end. So it could take a long time, and who wants to have their loved ones wait such a long time to receive the assets and have to pay a whole bunch of money for the privilege of going through that process, which is not a privilege.
And isn't that, I may be wrong about this, I don't know, but doesn't all of that stuff become public because it's kind of like in an open court?
Yeah, any court case is open to the public. So, I mean, you could literally walk into whatever courthouse and go to the clerk's office, ask for a file, and
oh my goodness,
review it, copies, whatever.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Well, listen, don't avoid all that stuff. Call the Siegel Law Group. Make sure you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel here on the program, and you can take advantage of that no-charge in-office consultation. 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel. We'll talk later in the week.
All right, thanks, Brian.
Take care, Barry.
All right, take care. You too. Yeah, by the way, Attorney Barry Siegel, you did your trustee. You could tell with that last caller, the well-off guy, who goes around telling you they're well-off. I'm a well-off man. Oh, well, excuse me. But didn't I? They really thought that this Miami race is being spun so hard by the fake news media. They thought that Florida went blue, and to hear that it hasn't is freaking them out, man. They just can't. So you watched the rally last night in Pennsylvania?
I watched the entire speech that he gave. It was, as always, inspiring.
Oh, it was great. I tell you, my favorite part was when he was talking about Ilhan Omar. She's in trouble. She's going to get deported, Steve. Ilhan Omar, he went through the whole thing. He said she's an illegal alien. She went through the whole thing. And Tom Homan said yesterday that he's opened up her file of when she first entered the country, and he's investigating Ilhan Omar's entry documents.
She's in big trouble. She's in big trouble, no question of that.
I wonder when they deport. I'm going to put the chances between 70 to 75% chance that she gets deported right now, because Tom Homan's looking into it. Right? That changes everything. So Tom Homan's going to come out with his findings.
You think ICE is going to cuff her and send her off to her homeland?
I don't know. I wonder, will they let her keep her $30 million, or will they seize that?
I don't know. Once we found out he had that $30 million, it disappeared from the news, sort of.
Yeah, it did.
I don't know how they're going to handle this. She's going to keep as much as possible, I can tell you that.
Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding? Absolutely. the only reason I put the odds at that high is because Tom Homan's on the case. And Tom Homan, he's not one of these publicity seekers. When he says something, you can take it to the bank. I mean, he's not out there with sound bites and trying to do, he's really looking into it. And when he comes out with his findings about how she got into the country, and President Trump already knows because he went through the whole thing about the brother and everything in the rally last night.
Right.
And that is at least the second, maybe the third time I heard President Trump bring up her brother. And he said last night, it's a fraud. She's an illegal alien. And he's the president of the United States again, people. He's been briefed. So when he's not
but to keep it all going, they remember the most important part of the whole argument that you're stating. To keep it all going, we're going to have to win the Congress.
I'm not worried about that. See,
you should be. I mean, something to be concerned with.
Well, it's an unknown, but, all we can do is get the vote turnout. And last night, when I see people waiting in sleet, hail, snow, rain, and freezing Pennsylvania all day long outside, and there's nothing worse when your winter clothes get wet and you're still out in it. Oh, my goodness, I remember that. My feet are cold now just thinking about it. They don't have that kind of momentum on their side behind them at all. Did you see President Trump's press conference on Air Force One when he was talking to the press?
What did they talk about? What did they talk about?
Oh, no, it was just a funny moment. He was talking. You know how he stands there and talks to the press like in the doorway?
Right.
This was not the main Air Force One because it was a short trip. It was the small version, the small Air Force One. It's a much smaller plane. Mm-hmm. And the bathroom door opened up and hit him in the arm when he was doing the press conference. A Secret Service man was in the lavatory. It was pretty funny. You got to see it. Pretty funny. It was a Secret Service guy went in there.
It had to be there.
Yeah, no. Everybody saw it, but you. But you'll see it on TV today. It's pretty funny. But it didn't interrupt his press conference at all. He just kept on going. All right, listen. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take this bottom of the hour break on time, so we'll be on time for the rest of the show. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane's here. I'm Brian Craig. Back after this. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. Hold on.
Do you ever wish you could step back into the greatest decade of all time, the 80s? You're not alone. That's when members-only jackets made you cool, parachute pants swished with every move, when leg warmers, big hair, and neon ruled, and your Walkman, Atari 2600, and Rubik's Cube were your most prized possessions? If you missed the A-Team, Knight Rider, breakdancing, hair metal, arcades, and that unmistakable new wave sound, you're not alone. Welcome to WeLoveThe80s.com. The community built by people who still believe the 80s were hands down the most iconic decade ever. At WeLoveThe80s.com, they celebrate everything that made the 80s unforgettable. The music, the movies, the fashion, the video games, the attitude, and of course, the memories that shaped a generation. If the 80s live in your heart, relive them with WeLoveThe80s.com. That's WeLoveTheeights.com. Go right now to WeLoveThe80s.com and take your place among the totally awesome. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you they're making it through the year. They want to thank you for your continued support by passing on some Christmas specials to our listeners. Get the Children's Bible Story Pillow, the 5-pack, for just $29.98. Get the My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98. Blankets, comforters, and duvets for as low as $25. And a blowout sale on the standard MyPillows for just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call 1-800-716-4879 and use the promo code KANE to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including the standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now just $14.98. Queens, $18.99. Kings, only $1 more. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty, but MyPillow has just announced they're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee. That's right. Orders placed between now and December 25th will have their 60-day money-back guarantee extended through March 1st, 2026.
price. So go to mypillow.com, use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, or call 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane for huge savings on your Christmas shopping.
See, look at this. This is from Right Side. Look at all these people in the cold. Look at this. Let me get Steve back. All right, Steve, you there?
Well, yeah.
All right, we got 30 seconds.
They're listening to CNN.
All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. Steve is here. All right, let's take some more of these calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name?
Morning.
Yeah, what's up?
I just had a few questions.
Here we go.
I personally, I'm not a Trump supporter. I just wanted to ask.
Here we go, Steve.
Understand the rationale. How do you feel about Trump being anti-Constitution?
Do you want that one, Steve, or you want me to take it?
Give us, I might as well jump into this one. What do you, give me an example of what he believes in that you believe isn't in accordance with our Constitution. And we'll talk about them individually. What's the biggest one? Hello? Are you there?
He hung up. He hung up. When you asked the question, he hung up.
Well, he was confronted by his worst nightmare, having to talk about something that he has no idea what he's saying.
Oh my goodness, I was really looking forward to that. You know what that is? That's a seminar caller. They don't give them.
They're all his voice is very familiar. They were all big shots until the light goes on and they're on the air. Then all of a sudden they realize they have nothing to say.
Yeah.
Except hello and goodbye.
Yeah. I was really curious to hear his answer to that question. Talking to these seminar callers, it's like trying to have a conversation with the telemarketers, right?
That's true.
You can't. You ask them a question. It's not on the. It's not on the script. Mm-hmm. But see, didn't I tell you the Democrats, they're devolving today. You know what happens is if you want, I don't watch too much of the cable news, but I do see like the news highlights for sound bites and stuff that I play on the show, and I catch a little bit of MSNBC, which is now called MS Now, and CNN.
MS Now.
It's called MS Now. It's got the same jerks on it, but a MAGA guy might be. Hold on, Steve. Maybe let me see here. Our phones are ringing off the hook, so maybe our Constitution guy will call. You back with me, Steve?
I'm with you.
Okay, maybe our Constitution guy will call back, but a MAGA guy might be buying CNN. There's this big deal going on with Warner Brothers and Netflix and all this stuff. The guy from Skydance, who's friends with Jared Kushner, is MAGA. He's talking about he's moving in to make a counteroffer. He went directly to the board of directors. He bypassed the negotiators. So if he makes a better offer, the board of directors, they're obligated to take the offer for their shareholders, right? Profits. And could you imagine if we get a friend of Jared Kushner's who's MAGA buying CNN? That'd be great. All right, I'll go back to the phones. I'm going to take this call that just came in because it might be our Constitution guy, Steve. He might have an answer for you. He might have Googled something or asked ChatGPT or something. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, sorry, the call dropped.
Oh, he's back. Okay, you want to re-ask your question, Steve?
It seems like a million years ago.
No, I can repeat it for you.
Oh, yeah. You called in complaining that the president doesn't follow the Constitution. I asked you for one or two major examples.
All right, first example, attack on the First Amendment, trying to outlaw and assign a prison sentence
Be
to burning
specific.
of the U.S.
Give me a specific act in the news that everybody would know about where he's tried to get people so they can't address
their feelings publicly? Just give me an example. One or two issues.
He said it himself. I'm not at home in front of my computer, so I can't pull it up. But he said it himself on camera.
Well, wait a minute. What about? I don't mean to be unkind, sir, but you left your computer at home. But what about your brain? I mean, your brain is with you, right?
Yeah, and I just...
Okay, so I'm going nice and slow now.
He said it on camera.
What did he say?
I can't give you a website
so
or
what?
a newsletter.
So you have no examples of what you're telling me? Yes, is what you're figuring.
I don't have
The talking points are on the computer, Steve.
That's all right.
Not in front of my computer. But that's fine. We can gloss over that one. We'll
you have to gloss over because you have nothing of content to point to.
No, I don't, because he's
because you have nothing to say.
Regardless.
So why are we all here?
Trying to outlaw birthright citizenship. How are you going to defend that one?
Well, where in the Constitution does it say you have the right for birthright citizenship?
The 14th Amendment. I just said that.
Which says what?
All persons.
If you happen to be traveling and you pass through the United States when you're giving birth, you're entitled to be a United States citizen. That part of the First Amendment?
I'm not sure if you're too close to your microphone, but you're coming across super duper muffled.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here come the excuses.
So I'm
okay,
sir, the muddle, you're confused. So let's try to calm down and help this poor lad. When you say I come through muddled, what you're saying is you don't have an example, is what you're saying. Oh, do I have that right? I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. If you have an example, now's the time to do it.
Trying to outlaw birthright citizenship.
But you say birthright citizenship. Where in the Constitution does it say anything about birthright citizenship?
Article.
Just give me a little fact.
14. The 14th
which
Amendment.
Says,
it is
which
about
says,
equal protections and birthright.
What does it say?
It says all persons born on U.S. soil are considered citizens as long as they're subject to the jurisdiction thereof.
What is it? Subject to the jurisdiction thereof? What does that mean?
Yeah.
He obviously has his computer with him. He said, hold on a second, Steve, hold on, caller. This guy's lying. He said he didn't have his computer with him to give you a First Amendment answer. Now he's reading from a computer.
I'm not in front of
I'm still waiting for an example.
By the way, that birthright citizenship case, President Trump's taking that to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's going to decide. He hasn't ruled that birthright citizen. That's at the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court will have the final word on it.
And there was an injunction filed against.
It's at the Supreme Court, and President Trump said he'll abide by the findings of the Supreme Court.
Yes. So that's a good example of where he is in favor of free speech.
In the Constitution.
Give us an example to support your side.
Yeah, that he's against the Constitution. You're backing up our position, caller.
No, I'm not backing up on
Yes,
anything.
you are.
I'm saying that on day one of his administration, he wrote and signed an EO stating
Executive
that birthright citizenship was going away.
Yeah, and it's going to the Supreme Court, and he said he'll abide by the finding and the ruling of the Supreme Court. So that's an example of him following the Constitution.
Right now, the Supreme Court seems pretty friendly towards him.
And that means he's supporting...
Which is why you're in a panic.
Love the Constitution so much. Why did he try to specifically go against it with the EO for birthright citizenship?
He said the constitutional process is to challenge it in the Supreme Court, and he said he'll abide by the Supreme Court's findings. That's a supporting of the Constitution. If he said, I'm not going to listen to the Supreme Court, then he'd be going against the Constitution.
The fact that he wrote it and tried to pass it off that way.
Oh, but so you have the right to talk. You have the right to talk, but he doesn't have the right to think and to put down his thoughts in writing. Is that what you're telling me?
That's not what I'm saying. That's a
no, it is what you're saying. I know it sounds stupid, but
no, it's not.
What you're saying?
No, it's not.
Oh, boy.
Birthright citizenship is the 14th Amendment. It is in the
Okay,
Constitution.
so we went through two that we shot down. Do you have a third example? Do you have another attempt at an example? We've gone around on the 14th Amendment. He's going to abide by the Supreme Court. Do you have another example that you want us to shoot down?
Yes, trying to run for a third term.
Has he filed to do that?
You're wearing
I'd be
a hat.
very happy about that. I've got a big bet that he's going to be a 3-time president.
He was selling merchandise, Trump 2028.
That's the First Amendment. That's a hat that he was selling. I bought one. I'm wearing it. That's freedom of expression, the First Amendment. You said you're in favor of the First Amendment. Now you're not? You want to outlaw messages on hats now? Oh, my goodness. You're the one who does. You're the one against the Constitution.
You guys can wear hats that say Trump for the next 80 years.
Correct.
I don't personally.
You can buy. Yeah, he does sell these. I bought it from Trump from his store.
That doesn't matter to me. The fact that he's floating this idea,
That's called the First Amendment, freedom of speech.
But he's banning the same.
So that's an example where he's in favor of the First Amendment.
Oh my goodness! Didn't I tell you they're devolving, Steve? The liberals.
Coming apart.
I'm not a liberal.
Oh, I know. He's not a liberal. Oh my goodness.
I'm not a liberal. I'm not a leftist. I'm not a Democrat.
I know.
I personally believe, leave me alone, I'll leave you alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I view things.
Yes. So do you have an example of him violating the Constitution? We've gone through only thing we found out is an example of you.
We're still looking for example one.
Actually, huge violations of the Fourth Amendment when he's having all these people picked up and just deported without due process.
These are people that have bench warrants many times who have not shown up for court appearances, or they raped and have murdered people.
I know, but they're...
Oh, okay.
All these things are being adjudicated in the courts, so what is your problem?
Exactly.
They're being picked up, being held in detention, and then shipped out.
After they're processed. No, there is a process. There's a legal process. Many of them have exhausted the legal process and are on the lam, but there's a legal process they go through. All right, listen, we got to run. Your misery is now over.
No, I'm not miserable.
I know. You're not miserable. I know. I want to talk about... Only example he gave of not supporting the Constitution was him complaining about the Trump 2028 hat, which is freedom of expression, the First Amendment. So the caller's against freedom of speech. He's the one that doesn't support the Constitution. Oh, my goodness.
He tried. Give him a break.
Yeah, he tried. I want to talk about coastal weight loss secret. It's been almost a year, Steve. It was January. Inauguration Day was the first time I met with Dr. Zuckerman over a coastal weight loss secret. And I lost over 35 pounds. I lost 25 pounds in 3 weeks. You can do the same. And I've been in the maintain phase for many months because I lost more weight than I planned on losing. And I got to the point, I lost so much weight. I weigh what I weighed when I got married 29 years ago. And I said, that's it. I want to stop. And Dr. Zuckerman, they said, that's okay. Now you're in the maintain phase. The maintain phase is effortless because I didn't have any big lifestyle changes when I lost the weight, right? Eating foods I would normally eat, not starving myself, no exercise. And in fact, Steve, my wife made me walk around the block with her yesterday a couple times. My legs are hurting this morning. I'm out of shape. I did no exercise and no Ozempic, no shots, no pills, no prescriptions. So keeping the weight off has been totally effortless. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. They can help you no matter where you are in the United States and schedule your no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightloss.secret.com. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. I got to call William Youngerman. Hold on. William?
Hello.
Hey, it's Brian. It's Brian. We have just over a minute, so stand by. I'm going to conference Steve in. Stand by. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, I've got William. We're a minute away, so stand by.
Sounds good.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian Steves here. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca for the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking?
Exciting times in the precious metals. Huge gains yesterday on all of the precious metals, with some profit taking this morning. But yesterday we saw gold close up $17.60 at $4,207.20 the ounce. The big mover, silver, up $2.52 yesterday, closing up to $60.60 the ounce. We even touched $61 an ounce for silver yesterday, but
Holy
up
smokes.
$2.52 on the close at $60.60 the ounce, a new all-time record high for the price of silver. In fact, when you think about it, an ounce of silver will now buy a barrel of oil.
Oh, I love it.
Platinum closed up $43 yesterday at $1,691. Palladium was up $34 at $1,490. Overnight, we saw gold trade pretty much in a similar range, but right now we're down $5.20. We did get under 4,200 this morning for a short time. We're seeming to be coming back now at $4,202 gold, down $5.20. Silver up 35 cents more at $60.95. Overnight, we got well over $61 at one point on silver. Platinum down $27 right now after yesterday's $43 gain, and currently at $1,667. And palladium down $22 at $1,468. So the metals are doing just fine.
It seemed like a couple days ago I said, William, do you think silver's going to hit $60? And here we are, like 2-3 days later. In the 1 ounce silver, what are some of the best buys you're recommending right now?
We've got nice 1 ounce rounds. These beautifully manufactured 1 ounce pure silver rounds, and they go for a very reasonable premium. Much less than maybe buying some of the sovereign country rounds. But we have everything in stock as far as silver is concerned. So great values there, low premiums. So we're fortunate still that the supplies have not dried up yet. At least our supplies have not dried up yet. And you can still buy great values in silver as far as the premiums concerned, very low premiums.
Yeah.
We do have an incredible special today for our Steve Kane listeners. Get this, 90% silver coins at $4 under the spot price of silver. So that's the lowest in history. $4 under the spot price of silver for 90% silver coins.
So you're getting silver for less than the price of silver, which is insane. I can't even believe I just said that. So can you tell people quick? I'm a big fan of 90% silver because when I was a kid, Grandpa would have those in his pocket, and I used to collect them, and I've always liked them because of that. Can you tell people what 90% silver is, and you're getting it for under the price of silver? This is amazing. Can you tell people what it is for those that may not know?
Yeah, that's the silver coins that we used in 1964 and earlier in our country. They're dimes, quarters, and half dollars, and they are made out of 90% pure silver. So for every dollar's worth of, whether it's 10 dimes, 4 quarters, or 2 half dollars, you get 0.715 of a pure ounce of silver. So that means that you can get small denomination silver, and for that you take off $4 from the spot price of silver, multiply it by 715, and get a factor, and that's how it's calculated. So it's an amazing savings on the price of silver, and the premiums could be coming back in the future, as many of these bags have been melted down now to get them into 100-ounce and 1,000-ounce silver bars.
Well, that's
So,
amazing.
they're going to get scarcer as we go on. So then you've got something that, hey, you can show your kids, hey, this is a dime made out of real money, silver, and that's what we used to have back in in our early years before we went to a fiat currency nation with no backing of our dollars now.
And a lot of people collect them. Like if I wanted to fill up some Franklin tubes, which are the Benjamin Franklin $50, and those are 90% silver. I mean, this is silver for less than silver. I can't believe I'm hearing that 90%. Listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can call. It's 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. He's located in Boca Raton, about a mile west of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building. The address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. And you can find both his address and phone number on his website, williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, take care. We'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right,
Thank you.
take care. Steve, I'm going to put you on hold just for a second. Our phones are ringing off the hook. Okay, you back with me, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. Remember, I've been telling you about that 90% silver? I've been telling you, this is it. Next time you buy silver, pick some up. You'd love it. You'd love it.
It's amazing.
I know. We can, you and I, we can both take an ounce of silver and each buy a barrel of oil today. It's crazy. All right. You want to take some more of these calls?
Sure, let's do it.
I almost feel bad the way you handled that last call.
See if you can find a coherent anti-Trump person.
You're asking for a lot, Steve. Come
I'm
on.
asking for the impossible.
Yeah. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's D.
D. Yes, you're on the air, D.
Give me 1 second.
Here you
Can
go,
you hear me
Steve.
okay?
1 second.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to talk about, I guess, the defections of the Republican Party, the mass retirement of several of the Republican Congress.
The mass retirement. How many? Okay, hold on. Slow down. How many are retiring? How many Republicans are retiring?
16, from what I understand.
16. How many Democrats are retiring?
I'm not sure.
17. 17. I know. So
17?
Yeah. So what?
I
What?
have to look that up.
The line just went dead.
But,
oh, he's back.
But, I
So
mean,
so
even
so you want to comment on the mass retirement of Republicans? Or but what about the Democrats?
I'm curious. Well, because we have midterms coming up, and it seems like Republicans are scared that the the terrible economy.
Yeah, but by your numbers, more Democrats are retiring than Republicans. So it sounds like the problem's on your end.
I'm not a Democrat, so I wouldn't really care.
Oh, another one that's not a Democrat. Why are all these anti-Trump people not Democrats? What are you?
Well, I personally hate Democrats. I hate Democrats. I think they are the despicable, corrupt, low down.
Careful, you're talking about members of my family.
Yes. Okay, so I agree with you on that. Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Republicans are just a fad. They are
a fad.
They have they are evil in the same kind of way that Democrats are.
You're a black man, right?
What does my race have to do with my political stance?
You are a free man because of the Republicans. Republicans freed the slaves. What do you mean you don't like
What does that have to do with the defection? What does that have to do with the defection of the Republican
You
Party?
said you hate Republicans too.
And
Republicans freed black people from slavery.
What does that have to do with 2025, my current politics?
The election's in 2026. Oh my goodness,
What
this
does
guy.
that have to do with my current politics as of today?
All right, hey, listen, call us again sometime. We're short on time, and I got a spot in. We'll try to get some of the calls. Steve, you want a coherent anti-Trump person? I can't give you that. I mean, you've
No,
had...
certainly not the last caller. That's
Oh,
for
my
sure.
goodness.
For sure, for sure.
By the way, it's 23 Republicans and 17 Democrats. He'd had all his numbers wrong, but I didn't want to, you know. But, and I'll tell you this. Those Republicans, Steve, that are retiring, most of them are in very safe Republican districts. So we got nothing to worry about, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. And the Democrats, they're getting out before they lose in most instances. If you're on hold, stand by. I mentioned this. This is really a sad time in December. It really, truly is, because the holidays, hey, we got a Christmas tree in the living room. You got a Christmas tree, right, Steve?
Yeah, yes.
That's right. Steve's got a Christmas tree. And it's a great holiday time. However, it's also the deadliest time of year for heart attacks. According to the American Heart Association, more people die from heart attacks during the last week of December than at any other time of the year, with Christmas Day and New Year's Day being the most dangerous. I know. That's why Life Imaging FLA is offering free heart scans with just a few minimum requirements, valued at $699. While you're there, make sure to ask about their full body cancer screening for that ultimate peace of mind. Life Imaging FLA, they're all about proactive health care, saving lives before symptoms even appear, like our one listener last week who called me and found out he had a heart issue. No symptoms, didn't even know it. Now he's being treated and he's okay, thanks to Life Imaging FLA. This December, give yourself the gift of health. Schedule your scan today. Enjoy the holidays with confidence. And they have locations in Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade County. To schedule that appointment, dial pound 250 from your cell phone and say free heart scan. That's pound 250 from your cell phone. Say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. Again, that's dial pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. All right. We're towards the end, but you want to maybe we can find a Never Trumper who will redeem the Never Trumpers and be coherent. Let's find out, Steve. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Steve and Brian. It's JJ from Mass. I'll
Hey.
get right to
Hey,
it.
JJ, what's up?
Well, I've just listened to a bunch of crazy calls today, Steve. Got some good ones, but this affordability hoax has really just, kind of turned me a little bit. It's a hoax, not because prices are high or low. It's a hoax because, Autopipe destroyed the economy for 4 years. They got donkeys crapping all over the country, and they're blaming Trump now for the mess they left behind. The guy that was talking about oil prices in 23 and 24, that guy, the reason why we had record output was because the prices of oil were high. It had nothing to do with the federal government. It had the states were producing oil to make money. States like New Mexico, states like Texas, and North Dakota especially. So it had nothing to do with the federal. The federal government was trying to, get prices high.
And look, listen to what William Youngerman just said. With a 1 ounce silver coin, you can go out and buy a whole barrel of oil. Metals are up, oil's down.
In 2022, Brian, the price of oil per barrel was an average for the year was $95. That's when we had the big. Biden comes in, starts destroying the country. Then when he realizes he's got to get elected, he doesn't do anything for the feds to produce more oil. He releases oil from the SPR to try to keep oil prices artificially low. But the states,
Yeah,
you get
that's strategic. He emptied out the strategic oil reserve and then filled it back up by again. But yeah, it's artificial manipulation. Listen, we only got 10 seconds left, so we got to sign off. But you make some good points. Oh man, I tell you, Steve, maybe we should have Dr. Janae Lemaski back on because we have some people in desperate need of therapy in this audience.
She's probably got a waiting line to her office.
Oh, of liberal loons?
It's around several blocks.
Yep, okay, we're out of time. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. It's Steve Kane Show. Steve's been here. I'm Brian. Take care. Great day. Oh, my goodness. The Trump derangement syndrome suffering is pretty heavy on this program. Hey, listen, if you're new, make sure you subscribe, all right? My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Those of you that already subscribed, please like the video. And if you could share the program on all your socials, that'd be great too. I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.